Hi, my name's Dave. I'm also known as Infected Flinch, and this is the live event, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I'm Stefan, aka Big Big Air 69,
The si
live.
the 69 of live variety. You can probably see there's a lot of stuff up here, and I'm all the way down here.
Yeah, maybe I should do that. You won't be able to see my messy room.
So yeah, this is the wrap up of 2014. So we're just talking about what we've played over the nostalgia trips and things we've actually played review wise. So we're going to talk about that as well. So yeah, it's just a general chit chat, and anyone who wants to watch, join in, comment, yada yada yada, all that kind of jazz.
Yes, am I meant to say something?
Well, I thought you might have said something.
Yeah, I've been looking through everything, and we've played a lot of bad games. A lot.
Well, I think it's just been the year of bad games, full stop, hasn't it?
I think this is the worst year in gaming, maybe, forever.
Yeah, I'm gonna say there's
Oh,
just been so little out there. I mean, I've been looking through because I've really not like I've really took a bit of a back step to everything, and just playing some of the games now, looking back, there wasn't much good in it. I mean, I'm playing Wolfenstein at the moment, and Wolfenstein is all right, but I'm getting really infuriated with it right now.
yeah, when you were talking to me about it, it was like, it's amazing, it's amazing. I was just like, oh, just you wait. It's,
It's
it's
oh,
It's weird because, like, in the first half of the game, they set it up perfectly. They've worked out all the mechanics and how shooting works and the general setup of the game.
yeah.
And then they go, well, we'll get bored of that. Let's change it up. And they kind of ruin it in the process.
Well, I've got stuck on a bit. Well, spoiler alert for anybody, but like basically, there's just a bit where you come down from the lunar base. I've got to that bit, and I'm just like, I really am getting fed up of doing the same bit over and over and over again.
Oh, we crashed through a window.
That's the one,
Yeah.
exactly the one.
Oh, God.
Fuck me, I am bored shitless of that bit. I am stuck on it.
And you have to cower in a corner while everyone just shoots the shit out of you.
I
Yeah.
thought that was just me.
No,
I thought,
it took me about half an hour
fucking
just
hell.
to get out of that fucking corner.
Yeah, peeking round the corner to shoot, and it's just like you've got that little plasma gun that like has a tiny bit of like power to it. So as soon as you've blasted off whatever rounds you've got, that's it. You're pretty much done, and you're stuck on 20 health. And as soon as you get hit, you have to stay there until it regenerates, and you go back out again. And most of the time, you can't tell where the fuck they are.
Yeah, I got it down. There's one of those commanders, and you have to take him out instantly.
But you can't tell who they are. They all look same.
He's got like a headset on. You can just, if you've got like the sort of sniper gun,
Hmm.
you just have to peek around, and it's usually sort of in a move towards the
Right.
back of the room, and you have to take him down. If you fail to take him down, he sets off the alarm. You'll never do it.
Yeah, I couldn't tell. I think I managed. Well, I got past that if I'm genuinely honest here, and I'm stuck now in the bit where it's actually the resistance bit, and I'm just stuck on that now. I just can't get past it. I've given up on it, to be honest. Today, I'm fed up to fuck of it. The bullet sponge. I know you said it earlier, but
Yeah,
bullet
yeah.
sponge.
It's those
I know.
guys with the shotguns that are the
Yeah.
worst.
Yeah,
Like,
and if they don't actually hit you, they've actually hit you. That's the thing I can't get my head around. So if they miss you, they've hit you.
yeah,
It-
like one on one, you will lose.
Yeah.
Like guaranteed.
Just to kind of put this in perspective, it's basically there's these shotgun guys and they have bouncy bullets. So if you're hiding around a corner, they will bounce that bullet around that corner and they will have you, regardless of the situation. They'll have you, and it's just like, don't even bother. Don't even bother.
Yeah, they're really overpowered because it's hard to kill them. They have this little thing sticking off their shoulder which you're meant to hit to make them sort of explode. But that takes quite a lot of hits.
Yeah, and I can't. Like I say, I mean, it's a really pretty game, but you can't tell where that little pack is anyway, because you're just shooting like a fucking moron, just trying to hit anything you possibly can when you see them.
You can't go in the open for too long or you're dead. So
Yeah.
you're going to go, ah!
It's just like two guns, two guns, two guns, and it's just like, nah, forget it, forget the whole thing.
But the thing is, it's still one of the best games of the year.
Yeah, and it's flawed, as you say, when you get off. Well, when you get to the lunar base. Before it, it's fantastic. As soon as you get to that lunar base, forget it. It's just everybody is going to kill you in one way, shape, or form, and there's nothing you can do about it. So, what about you? What great games of 2014 have you played, Stefan?
I've done a list. Oh yeah. Are we
A
going to go
list?
straight into like a game of the year? Are we gonna build?
Should we build it up? We'll build it up.
If we talk about games released this year, like for the first half of the year, I played nothing apart from Dark Souls 2. That came out this year.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, that was an awesome game.
Yeah. No.
Did you not like it?
They ruined it, I think.
I loved it. I genuinely loved it.
I mean, it's still a good game, but it's like, I think that should have been a sign when Dark Souls 2 came out and wasn't amazing. Like, it wasn't going to be my year. Just.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it compared to a lot of the tripe that's come out this year, it's not that terribly bad, is it?
You still have to go. It's still, again, one of the best games of the year. But for me, the Dark Souls had this very delicate balance where if you died, you knew it was your fault.
Yeah.
You always felt like I had an opportunity. I had a way of doing this. And it's because I cocked up that I didn't do it.
Yeah.
Whereas Dark Souls 2 was just the combat didn't feel right. It never felt right. And just the scenarios and the enemies you would fight. Like those giant turtle guys.
Yeah, with the big huge hammers that whack you really hard.
Yeah, and they never had stamina. You couldn't go behind them because you just fell on you, and they made you fight them on tiny little ledges where lava was either side and stuff like that. It was like there's no legitimate way of beating them other than like just chipping away at them, and it's just like that's frustrating.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I think the thing that got on my wick with it was the fact that in the first one there was a lot of strategy involved with it, so you could kind of find your way around it, like you say. But in the second one, it's like with the first bit where you fight like 10 soldiers at once.
Yeah, they do it a lot. They just throw enemies at you and like I deal with it, and like it doesn't quite. Maybe it was just the way I played it, the character I played. It was just useless for multiple opponents.
I don't think it was, because it was exactly the same for me, and you know how I play it. I just play it like a tank. So basically, I just wander in, have the biggest weapon I can physically find, and see how it goes on. And even I couldn't get through it. And then it has one of the worst boss battles ever for starting off. Them 3 knights all at once. The ones that spin around like fannies.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they just spin around and you're just like, yeah, I'm not going to survive this.
I don't think the bosses were that memorable either. That was another thing. Like,
did you not?
No. I was like struggling to remember them, basically.
Not even the big like slug that looked like Jabba the Hutt?
Yeah, I remember that because it looked ridiculous.
Yeah, no, how can you not remember Jabba the Hutt?
Just sort of flopped and rolled around. Like,
and if you tried to attack him from the side, it'd just go, "Ugh," and just land on you. So it's just like, forget it. So if you go around the back, it'd just whip you with its tail. You see, that one was quite memorable.
Yeah, alright, it did have a few, but like...
Stefan, you have a cat.
I know. Yeah, I never felt felt like a grind towards the end, and there was just certain sections where the castle. The first time we go to the castle, I had to look up how to get in for a start.
The big Dranglaic place.
Yeah, you had to sort of kill enemies near the fountain thing. But
see, I got lucky with that. I got straight in.
I spent like they just kept coming out, and I was like, oh, I know I'm meant to do something, but I don't know what, and like they just killed me, and just wore me out, and like that whole like dungeon, the castle, it's got like these stone enemies,
Yeah.
And I had nothing. I had nothing that worked well against them. There was nothing I could do against them.
I was all right with that. I wonder what where you went about it, because I got
It's
through that
weapons
bit
I
easy.
use because I use the dexterity weapons,
Hmm.
and against the stone enemies, I think you could use like the striking weapons or lightning,
Hmm.
and I had neither,
Right.
and
I
there wasn't
seem to
anything.
I seem to remember a lot of enemies being weak to lightning as well. That was one of the big things in that as well.
Yeah, lightning and it's strike. I think it's strike damage.
Yeah.
It was weird. Like this sort of. I think if you played it with lightning and like a smash weapon, a strike weapon, you
Hmm.
probably really enjoyed it and thought it was great.
Yeah.
But if you didn't play it that way, you were just like, oh,
No, that was the thing. I think I enjoyed it because it actually kind of worked in my favor because I could play it the way I wanted to, which was just badly, I think.
and, and I couldn't. I couldn't.
Yeah, because you played it properly and I didn't.
Well, it's just like I preferred the whole like the backstabbing, and the sort of like
There was no
stays.
parrying either. That just kind of disappeared as well.
It was there, but it was that awkward thing where you parried them and they fell over really, really slowly.
Yeah,
You
on
had to
like a
wait a bit,
fatty. Yeah, I
and
remember
then you
that.
could stab them, and then that would have been all right if you weren't also surrounded by other enemies.
Mm,
So it was pretty much impossible. Like in the first Dark Souls, the way I handled like having like multiple opponents attack me is parry and riposte.
yeah.
Because whilst you were doing that, you couldn't get hurt,
Mm.
and you could take someone out instantly doing that. And there was a risk to it because if you fucked up your parry, you got hit, and they get like mobbed. And like there was an art to it. Once you got it down, it felt really good to have like a bunch of enemies come down on you, and you parry and riposte them and just take them all down.
Sorry, you know when you just say stuff like that, enemies coming out, going down on me. I'm just like, what do I have to say? I just want to go, filth.
Filth. Yeah. Hearing it back, yeah, I can see that.
Falling down, going down on them.
Falling on my sword. Um,
Sorry,
yeah,
carry on.
you can't do it. You can't do it the second one. And
No. The DLC in the second one was really good, actually. It was fantastic.
I heard that, but for me, the game was fundamentally broken. So, you know what I mean?
I mean, maybe Battleborn will be what Dark Souls was. Maybe that, not
Oh,
Battleborn,
Bloodborne.
Bloodborne.
Yeah,
Battleborn's the other one that fucking, what's the faces are making?
Gearbox.
Keep saying that.
Yeah. Um, I think Bloodborne is a game made to my style. From
One of,
watching it,
yeah,
it
have you
looks
seen the
like.
fact if you get hit, you've got to hit them back?
Yeah, yeah. To
Yeah.
recover your health. But a lot of it seems to be about the dodging and the quick weapons and the speed, and that's how I play it. That's how I like to do it.
Hmm.
Um,
See, I'm going to fail at it. I can feel it.
just gonna stand there going, oh, oh,
Well, the one thing
oh."
I always do, I always defend first, wait till they get knackered out, and then I start poking at them. Now, if I can't do that, I'm fucked. Because that's what the tank's like. You just take it like a bitch for a while, wait till they get tired, and then start hacking at them. Like this. With
Yeah,
big, huge swords.
and there's no shields. There's
Yeah.
no shields.
So I'm pretty much. I don't think I'm going to do very well. I'm going to have to basically adapt very quickly, or I am dead.
I hope that's good. I think I'll go into a period of despair if that game's bad. And you know when you need a game to be really good to restore your faith. I need
Yeah.
that to be really good.
I hope so. I hope so because it's. There has been a few. I mean, we've talked about this at length, and we haven't really talked about it here. But one of the games I played was Murdered Soul Suspect.
Oh yes.
Yeah, and true story as well. We was in our local game shop, and a young lady actually picked up the game, and we were both staring at her like we looked like we were probably like leering over her, and we both said at the same time, "It's rubbish," and that was it. And she just went, "What? It's just a stocking filler. Put it back. It's rubbish."
But I like we just at the counter. He was like, Stefan, you got to tell her to stop.
She needs to know. She needs to know.
She needs to know. And I'm like, oh, what's he on about? And then like she was holding it for a while.
And then you knew exactly what it meant, because as soon as you saw her pick it up, it was just like, we have to tell her. Put it back. Put it back.
But I mean, this is where I'm a bit torn on it, because I had a hard time recommending that game, but I still found it interesting.
It's like you said, though, it's an interesting failure.
Yeah, that's it. I liked what it tried to do, and it did fail at it, but.
And it makes me sad, because it actually killed off the company as well. It's the same guys who made Dark Void.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And you can tell, like, they were just told to finish the game, and then they all got fired, because the game is not finished. That's one of the things that's bad about it, is it's not finished.
It's very ropey. It's very ropey, because.
Did you find the woman on the balcony who doesn't talk?
No.
You know, in the main sort of town.
Yeah.
I spent ages exploring there, but you could possess a cat, and then you could go jump up, and there was this woman, and like one of those ghost people, you're meant to talk to them, and nothing happens. They have no animation, no dialogue. They do nothing, but it comes up with like usually got two sort of question options.
Yeah.
Even though it like meant nothing, that would come up. You press that, nothing would happen, and then it would just end.
Oh no.
And the frame rate was awful.
Oh yeah, I went on record with that, because it was like playing CCTV. It was just so bad.
I played it on a PS4, and the game does not look like a PS4 game. And it gave me headaches just playing the game. The frame rate was that bad that like it made me like feel like car sick.
Yeah.
I rarely get that, and that game gave me like car sickness.
I think the problem I had with it was, and it was such a weird thing, and we said about it. It was like the clue system didn't work. The clue system, it was just completely off. So you'd have I need to find out where the girl's location is. What can tell me with the clues I've attained that tells me where this girl is? So it'll say church, and it'll say footprints, and then it'll go the girl's location, and then you're just like, well, maybe the footprints leading to the church can tell me where it is. You picked them wrong. So where is it? The girl's location. It's just like, what? Why? And you just literally go into despair with it, because you're just like, nah, that's too fucking stupid to be real. And it does do that constantly. Not just once, it does it multiple times. Like,
you never feel comfortable with it, because every now and again it gives you one where you have to think about it, and you have to sort of make a leap.
Yeah.
But like one will be like, oh, the answer's just here, just pick the answer. And sometimes it's like, well, I have to sort of figure it out and then go for that one. And you just never feel like you get into. It's one of those where rather than you figuring out the game, the puzzle, you have to figure out what the designer was thinking at the time.
Yeah, absolutely right.
And
Absolutely
that's never
right.
good. And it's just like.
Oh, because it doesn't make any sense either, because there's just some. I mean, spoiler alert, if anybody wants to kind of, blink off on this, it basically, the last boss battle, if you can call it a boss battle, it just, out of sheer desperation, I had to go on YouTube and find out what the fuck I was supposed to do with it, because it basically says, how can I stop Abigail from killing whoever it was? And you go, well, maybe I can possess this, maybe I can do that, and it's just like, no, you have to go straight towards her.
Yeah.
And it genuinely does happen, doesn't it? And you just go, why would that be my first choice to stop someone? Because if they can summon stuff and everything and cause mass destruction, why would I go straight towards them? What?
That's an example, though. That's when There's thinking. Once you see it, you go, oh right. Um, Basically, throughout the game, as part of the plot, you can touch things and get like memories and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I think the idea is by grabbing her arm, you are doing that. You're trying to get the memories and put her, and like that's how you stop her.
Yeah.
But that's not a game mechanic.
Yeah.
So you don't think to do it in the game because it isn't a game mechanic. It's just something that happens in cutscenes, and then suddenly the game's like, oh yeah, you need to do that thing where you grab someone. It's like, no,
just...
all the game I have never had to do that.
Yeah, and it's just like, why am I doing that now exactly? Can you tell me why? It's like, I don't know, just because. And it just literally like, well, why just suddenly spring that out from anywhere?
I don't know if we're going to go into full spoiler territory, but like, it infuriated me that it's set in the Salem, right, which is famous for pretty much only the witch trials, and obviously the murders are gonna be about the witch trials.
Yeah.
The whole police force, because this is completely random. We can see no pattern, we can see no logic to this. It's all completely random. I'm like, it's gonna be the witch trials. It takes 2/3 of the game before it goes, oh, hang on, there's a link between the witch trials and these serial killer murders. You're like, oh, for fuck's sake. Of course there is. It's in Salem.
Yeah, I know. And you just kind of think, oh, the other thing as well with it was like the actual design of the places, because I found myself spinning round and round and round in circles, not knowing where I was going. It took me sometimes, like there's one particular case where you have to try and stop this drink driver or whatever, and then I had no idea that literally you turned around and went backwards to get to this petrol station. I went everywhere else because it told me nowhere to go, and the frame rate was at its fucking dog-eared, and it's just like, where am I going and what am I doing it for? And then finally when I found this petrol station, I had no idea that I actually had to go towards a door and actually touch it to actually finish the case off. I got everything else.
That's the same problem. That
and
guy
I was just
who's doing that weird door thing. I don't know what he's doing. He's touching like this.
It's just literally going like this, and you're just like
nothing else in the game. And I think that's the only example as well, where you come across these people, you try and help them, and everything you need to help them is within the immediate area that they stood.
Yeah, exactly it.
Apart from this one, where you have to go and find a petrol station.
Yeah, it just... Mate, I've tried to understand it, and it just doesn't make any sense right now at all. Why any of it does what it does, and you want it to make sense because you know they've got some good ideas, and you're just like, yeah, that is actually one of the most disappointing games of the year for me. That one, because I wanted it to work, and it had some. I mean, the whole idea of solving your own murder.
It's a really cool concept.
It's an awesome idea. No one's ever done it before. And
Ghost
you think,
Trick has done it.
Well, apart from Ghost Trick, yeah, sorry.
Ghost Trick's great.
Have you played that this year?
No, that was last year or maybe the year before, a while back. Yeah, if you want a game that's like murdered sole suspect done right, Ghost Trick.
Ghost Trick.
It's kind of done in the Ace Attorney style, so it's a different tone.
Yeah, so it's a bit less depressing, basically.
Yeah, there's a sort of you team up with a little dog, you know, called Missile. It's that sort of game. You have like a dog ghost help you. It's brilliant.
A dog ghost.
Yeah.
Is it like the dog ghost from Nightmare Before Christmas?
No, it's a really cute dog, actually.
I thought the dog from Nightmare Before Christmas was pretty cute.
No.
You don't approve?
I'm not a big fan of that film, I know. I know that's probably gonna... I know lots of people love it, but...
Yeah, it's not my thing. It's not my thing at all. So I know my missus loves it, but it's just not my thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, the other game that I played this year, which I thought was really good. I don't know how you felt about it, but The Wolf Among Us.
I bought that the other day on Steam sale, but I haven't played it yet.
The ending's really weird, but I won't go into that. So,
Yeah, it's one of those where I was waiting for like a 75% off sale because I knew it was coming.
hmm,
And like, I don't know what Telltale want you to do with their games
hmm,
because, like, on the consoles, you can buy them each episode,
yeah,
but on the PC, you have to buy a whole lot in one go.
right. So you're doing the season pass,
So
regardless,
there's only one thing you can buy, and it's so you pay like the 20 odd quid, whatever,
right?
and then you have to wait for them all to come out. But they don't tell you when they're coming out, and they've had delays, so it could be up to a year.
All right. No, I
And
didn't know you. I didn't know it worked that way with them. I always thought that
yeah, and in that time, it's guaranteed to go on sale at some point
hmm,
for at least 50%. So why would you buy it when it's sort of it's like, all right, I'm going to give you all the money for the product which isn't there yet,
hmm,
and you're going to give me the rest when you feel like it. And by the time you have, I could have had it for less than half price.
yeah,
And I'm
yeah.
just like, well, I guess if you wanted to like to support the developer and all that, or if you want to stay like current, if you want to be part of the talk about it, I can see that reasoning, but I just have a hard time.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it, in terms of, what the actual story had going off. I mean, it was, I mean, the comic books that you bought me for Christmas, well, you lent it me, didn't you? You didn't buy it for Christmas, actually. It's an interesting concept. The whole, nursery rhymes and the fact that they've come alive and all that kind of stuff.
That's it. I like Fables. I really like the comic. So it's
Mm,
not. I haven't not played it out of like lack of interest. It's
mm,
just like I can wait.
yeah.
you know.
See, I also played The Walking Dead as well, the season 2 one.
Yeah.
Season 2 one? Season 2. Season 2 1. But yeah, I mean, I I don't know how I felt about season 2. I don't think it had the whack that it did of the first series.
Yeah. Two of the guys they do a podcast called Idle Thumbs.
Yeah.
And two of the guys on that were really sort of instrumental in the first season, and then they
Mm.
left.
Right.
So that sort of sent alarm bells ringing. Like,
It wasn't terrible though, don't get me wrong, it wasn't terrible. It just didn't quite feel right as it did the first time around because I think it was so new, so fresh. So new, so fresh. But so new. And don't know.
I mean, I haven't played it, so this is my I haven't played it opinion.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem to have moved the bar at all. It's kind of like you liked season one, here's season two. It's like the same, and it's still got the same
Yeah.
problems. Like the
Yeah.
engine is still shit.
Yeah, that engine is still abysmal. It is
It's like
really bad.
if you'd fixed that. And what annoys me about Telltale is like, well, we're going to do a Borderlands game, and we're going to do a Game of Thrones game, and we're
Yeah.
going to do a Minecraft game, and I'm just like, why don't you just fix your engine first? And
It's making enough money for them though, so I guess they don't see they've got to fix it, have they?
maybe. And the other problem is like, there were so many delays on like Wolf Among Us and Walking Dead. I think Wolf Among Us especially.
Mm,
Like,
that took ages.
stop announcing things.
Yeah.
Like I know how the development works, where you have people working on different things at different times. You have to sort of do that to make sure people are actually doing something all the time.
Mm,
But it's just kind of like stop announcing projects when you've got these other projects which are late and don't run very well,
yeah.
and I've already paid for. If you'd paid for them, you know what I mean? You're like,
Yeah, yeah. Well, Wolf Among Us sounded like it had a botched development cycle right from the very start. It sounded like it was a little ropey to begin with, but they managed to hit the stride eventually. It just took a while.
yeah, I think it took them a long time to figure out how to do it, and they must have just as soon as they figured it out, they must have like almost immediately put the episode out.
Yeah.
Like they've gone, well, we've been developing it for a year, so it's got to go out now. but like
Yeah.
it was only in like the last 2 months they actually figured out how to do it. So
There was a lot of not dead weight, but just a lot of stuff in Wolf Among Us that it felt like it was going to be more, but didn't go anywhere.
did they? How much did they go into the whole where you are makes a difference, like the whole location and time stuff? What's that?
I must admit, I played it, and then partner played it, and she did get a few different things than I did when I played it. So there is a little bit of variation to it. Not a great deal, but there is some there. Because like there's one bit where you can go towards Blackbeard's apartment, or you can go to somewhere else, and she went towards Blackbeard. No, she went towards. Oh fuck, which one was it? Anyway, she went back to Blackbeard in the middle, and he got away with whatever it was that he was doing. Because I didn't go
Right.
towards him. I thought it was just a waste of space. It wasn't worth doing. Um, so there is a little bit of variation, but it's not like Mass Effect, where you can do lots of things and then different things come out of it. But they have tried their
But,
best with what they can do. They have tried the best.
but I love the idea when they sort of said this is what we're going to do, because when I keep thinking about what would the ideal detective game be, and I think the concept of time is significant to it.
Yeah,
Like the idea that you have to choose where to be and at which time, and you have to weigh these stuff up, and like things will play out differently. I think that's a really like good way of like going about a detective sort of mystery.
they do it pretty well, but I always wanted a little bit more out of it, and I know I couldn't really have it because obviously that they had a little not enough time to kind of get it all going, and I think that might have been the reason why they delayed it so much. That, like you say, the detective part of it.
Yeah, I think they literally only figured out how to do the game like at the last minute, and so they were just so far behind. I
Yeah,
think.
it's a shame because it is good. I think it's one of the better games I've played this year, but it crumbles a little bit halfway through, which makes me a bit sad. It does make me feel a bit sad about it. Um, I'm just trying to think what else. What else have you played this year, Mr. Stefan?
Well, I was going to bring up Destiny, the big
Oh,
topic.
yeah, I know you've
Um,
lent me that, and I haven't played it yet.
I don't know what you'll get out of it now. This is the thing that it's sort of moved on so much.
Yeah,
Just reading about it. But yeah, it was a game that made me get a PS4. I was kind of like, right, this is it. Um, and it seemed to carry like it had the hype of like history and weight. It felt like it was going to be the big game of the year, and I'm a sucker for things which move things further along, things that like innovative or like raising the bar or
yeah,
like.
yeah,
And I really thought Destiny was going to be the game that really sort of went. This is how games are going to be for this generation.
yeah,
When something like I don't know Gears of War came out,
yeah. I mean,
yeah,
that was a shifter, to be fair.
that was like, yes, this is what games are going to be like. And so many of the mechanisms in Gears of War were just like copied wholesale and incorporated, and it kind of defined how games played out. And I thought, like, oh, Destiny's going to do this.
Yeah, yeah.
And I played it solidly for a month, maybe for 70, 80 hours or something like that. So
Jesus.
I can't say it's a bad game
Yeah,
because I had fun. I reconnected with some old work friends. I genuinely had fun with it, but you do get to a point where you're just like, there's nothing left apart from like time-consuming grinds and stuff like that.
yeah. I mean, that's it. It looks like Borderlands.
It's
I don't know if I
it,
want it. I don't know if I want it.
it is quite like Borderlands, and this is the thing. What got me excited about Destiny is like I played Borderlands and Borderlands 2, and they both felt like games that weren't quite there.
Hmm.
I felt like, oh, you could take this and you could turn it into something like um, there's a whole new sort of genre or way of playing games in this concept. It's just not been quite done yet. And I thought Destiny was going to be the one that went right. This is it. This is how these games work, and it doesn't. It's like it's so.
You
cool.
sound so disappointed. I can feel it on you.
Disappointed. The thing, like, it's the game where you're like, oh, I bought a console for it.
Yeah.
It's like I don't regret it particularly because like.
Mind you, I remember buying my
like
PS3. I remember buying my PS3 purely for Metal Gear Solid 4.
Yeah, me too.
And it was just for that.
From America as well.
Purely for that. Yeah, and I mean, I must admit, if you bought it for Destiny and then it wasn't quite what you thought it was. Mind you, Metal Gear Solid 4, I kind of knew I was going to have an hour and a half film at the end. So I thought, well, I've got an hour and a half to kill. Let's run with it.
I'm glad I knew that was going to happen before it happened. Because if I was sat there and I didn't know it was going to be an hour and a half long, I would have been like...
I'd have just been like, what the...
No, it's going to stop. Oh, no, it's still going. But I had like food and a drink and like... as soon as I finished the game, I was like bedded in. I knew it was coming, so I could just sit back and enjoy it. But if I was like, I've done the game, and then it carried on for another hour and a half.
It was the whole big boss bit at the end. It's just like, oh, I'm giving you another hug. But I'm nearly dead. No, I'm almost dead. Nearly dead. I've got another speech. No, are you going to die yet? No, I'm dead. It's like, that was the whole big boss bit. It's just like, yeah, we're just going to keep going for an hour and a half of just big boss talking bollocks.
And the thing is, I don't even remember, like, half of what he said.
No, only thing I remember is that he basically had a big fight with, what's his name? Zero, Cypher, whatever his name is. I don't know what you want to call him. Zero? Was it Zero?
Maybe. See, that's it. It's like, it kills me with words.
Yeah.
Threw so many words at me, I'm just like, ugh.
Yeah, because they're talking about him in this new one, Ground Zeroes, which is one we'll come to in a minute. So,
is Zero Kaz? Is Kaz Zero?
No, Zero. In Metal Gear Solid 3, do you remember the bloke that he talked to on the radio? Oh, I'm a very British person, blah 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 blah.
Oh, that's Zero.
That's Zero.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, that's him. He's the one causing all the trouble, and he was the one in the wheelchair at the end. But anyway, sorry.
Did he swap his body with Solidus or something like that?
Yeah, they. It's just mate. Solidus was made purely to be Big Boss's new body.
Right. Yeah.
And they left him in a jiffy bag in the back of that van. I can't even make that up.
No, it's true.
I just can't make it up. But Hideo Kojima, delightfully mental, absolutely mental, that lad.
That's it. For all his flaws, like
you don't expect any of it.
Yeah,
you just don't. You can't. I mean, right? Another spoiler alert, right? Because I tried to text you about it, and I can't actually put it into words how it comes across.
Oh, the bomb.
The bomb, yeah, the bomb. The bomb. So, right, Ground Zeroes. So, Ground Zeroes is the prequel to the new Metal Gear Solid 5, and it sets off after Peace Walker. So, at the end of Peace Walker, there was a kid called Paz who's been causing shit and blah, 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 blah. What happens is, she gets taken. Do you remember Chico?
Yeah, the kid.
The annoying kid. You gotta go and rescue him as well. So,
Can I just clarify something?
Yeah.
Peace Walker ends really weirdly.
Did you do the real ending?
Yes. Does that count?
Yes.
Right, okay.
Yeah, that actually counts. So yeah, it carries on from that weird ending.
Right, okay.
So it makes sense if you kind of remember that weird ending. So yeah, you find them both, and you go into this helicopter, you fly off, and... Right, so basically Chico pokes Paz and goes, she's got something wrong with her stomach. So they pull up her shirt and they find that it's actually suited up, like sewn up. So they snip it, and Kiefer Sutherland, not David Hayter, is basically saying, keep the guts in, take the bomb out. I think that's how the line goes, right? So they manage to get it out. They go back to Mother Base. It's blown up to shit, and they manage to get Kaz, and he starts basically shaking her, going, "What have you done, you bitch? What have you done, you fucking bitch?" Right? She suddenly coughs up blood, gets up, and goes, "Did you get it out?" And they all go, "Yeah, we got it out." "Well, did you get the other one?" So it's just like, what other one? And she says, "It's in my dot 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 dot." She opens the door, throws herself out, blows up, and it burns Kiefer Sutherland's face, and that's where the next game starts. So the whole point of Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain is that he got blown up by a vagina bomb.
Yes.
I don't know.
I live for that shit. I live for that shit.
It's just so, I can't even tell you if it's badly done or really well done. But
I'm gonna have to play it.
I just sat there, just like, have we actually just done that? Have we just said that it's somebody's vagina that's a bomb? Genuinely, I have no idea. Anyways, let's read off some comments then. So we have got some comments. So we've got Dimp, so Dean, saying evening, chaps.
Evening.
We've got Woodlin37 saying sup my niggers. First comment, it said it was too short, it lied, hence the double post. We'll let you off this time. But yes, he's just said, I don't even think the comments are even being read here. My word, it's like a retro live stream with no interaction to the good people of YouTube. I'm sorry, I must be off. Sorry, Woodlin, I've just read them this minute. Sorry about that. Evening, that's from Lactobacillus Prime. And I think it's Stuart as well saying hello. So yeah, we are reading comments. We're just getting through them very slowly but surely. So sorry about that, Woodlin.
We got caught up with all the vagina bombs.
It was all the vagina bombs. Definitely all the vagina bombs. So yeah. What else have you played this year, Stefan?
Shadow of Mordor. Played that.
Oh yeah, any good?
It's alright. It's do you know about the Nemesis system?
I heard about it, and I don't know if it really worked well or not.
It was one of those things where people got really giddy about it, and I've seen people talk about it like it's this new incredible thing.
Yeah.
And I honestly didn't feel it playing the game. The idea is like Shadow of Mordor. You die at the start, and you come back as like this unkillable ranger, and you're sort of bonded with this elf guy.
Yeah.
And you can't leave Mordor. If you die, you come back alive again, and you're sort of trapped. So you're killing orcs. You're trying to find a guy who killed you and your family and all that. So the main bad guys are orcs, and they have a hierarchy. So you've got like the grunts, the captains. It goes up to warlords. And the idea is the whole hierarchy is you can manipulate it, and it sort of evolves based on your actions.
Right.
So if like a grunt kills you, then he gets promoted to a captain.
Okay.
And they have like infighting, so they'll have a face-off, and then whoever wins the face-off gets promoted, the other guy dies. And the idea is like you'll be fighting a bunch of orcs, and then a more powerful one will just show up and try and take you on.
Right.
And they all have like strengths and weaknesses, and you have to sort of find snitches and interrogate them to find out what the strengths and weaknesses are. And when you know them, like you can kill some of them in one blow. Like,
right.
Some of them can be finished by stealth finishes. So it might be incredibly tough to fight head on, but if you get like a stealth attack on him, dead in one hit.
Right.
And later on, you can possess the orcs and take control of them. So you can have like a puppet, So you can take a guy, take him through the ranks, and have him become a warlord.
All right, okay.
So it's a nice system in theory, because they'll get their own names, they'll get their own strengths, weaknesses, and like customized armor, and like it chants their name when they come out to fight, and they make a big ceremony out of it. But the game's too easy.
Right.
Like at the start, it's hard, and you'll die to like grunts and stuff like that, and you'll see them get promoted. And then time passes. When you die, it goes to this like screen. It shows you the hierarchy, and then all the little changes. But I found like maybe a third to halfway into the game, I'd just stop dying pretty much.
Right.
Because
I've heard it's like Arkham Asylum. Yeah.
Yeah, the combat is pretty much Batman Arkham Asylum. You've got your attack, your counter, your dodge. Once you work up a chain, then you get your special moves activated. So you press 2 buttons and do like a finisher and all that.
Yeah.
Very, very similar. And it's not quite as good as well.
Right.
But I think that's part of the reason why it might be too easy, because it is such a direct lift off the Arkham games. And I've played them so many times and loved them. I just slipped straight into that. I didn't have to learn how the combat worked.
Yeah.
I already knew it followed the same rules.
Did Rocksteady have anything to do with that then?
No, it was Monolith.
So it was Monolith then?
Yeah, there was a rumour, I don't know how true it is, that Monolith were going to be doing a Batman game, and the idea was like, you'd be Batman and you'd be interrogating the thugs of Joker, and then, so rather than it being orcs and like the hierarchy, it would be Joker's thugs.
Okay.
You'd be Batman intimidating people and then putting in your own like puppets to try and get up to the Joker.
Right. So it might have been a lost game kind of thing.
Yeah, they might have had that idea and then decided, like maybe they had to make a Lord of the Rings game to keep the license, or maybe they decided that too many Batman games, or whatever, or maybe it's not even true. But like, it does make sense in a way. The way it plays out, it feels very much like a Batman game.
Yeah, because I mean, there was Gotham Imposters as well, which was a bit meh.
Yeah, and they were trying stuff with that game, weren't they? So it's not really a stretch that might be true.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna say it just doesn't seem to interest me at all. Shadow of Mordor. I want it to, but it just doesn't.
Yeah, part of the problem with it is it's quite a boring setting. In a way.
Yeah.
I like Lord of the Rings, but they've kind of stuck it in a boring place. Mordor, for as much fuss they make about it, it's really boring as a location. There's not much to it.
No,
it's like a wasteland with some ruins and some orcs. And you do go into another area which is a bit different, but I think what it suffers from is, in the Batman games, you would go into buildings, and each building would be unique, have a unique theme, and you'd have to make your way through, and then you get a unique boss at the end.
Yeah.
It doesn't have that. And everything's sort of the open world, but to do any activity, you have to go to a glowing circle on the floor and then activate it.
Right.
So it really breaks the immersion for me, that like, you're running around, but like all these battles between the different orc warlords, you have to go to this point and then activate it and then watch it happen.
Yeah. No, I mean, I might pick it up if it's like 10 quid or something, but I don't think I pay any more than that.
Yeah, I mean, I can lend it you.
Alright.
I platinumed it, so...
Shit. Is it that easy?
You know what? It was one of those I thought, oh, I could platinum this. This could be, and it took me a lot longer than I wanted it to, because a lot of like the trophies are manipulating the Nemesis system to do very specific things, and sometimes it doesn't go your way.
Right.
One of them is to get like a level 25 rune, and these runes are like you can equip them to your weapons and they give you like special perks.
Right.
And to get a level 25 one, you have to kill Warlord, which is the most powerful one that has already killed you in the past, and you have to use a fear on them. You have to like exploit one of their fears and something else, and you basically have to do every possible sort of modifier to get the maximum.
Right.
And there's a chance it'll drop an epic rune, which doesn't count because it doesn't have a level. So I spent hours setting up this warlord to be taken down to give me this level 25 rune, and I did it and it gave me an epic rune. I was just like,
that doesn't sound fun.
I won't. Yeah, platinuming it was just arduous in the end, but platinuming it is fine. It's fine. I just think it's too easy. You become incredibly overpowered by about halfway through, and you just it doesn't have enough like bosses, and the bosses it does have aren't very good. Like one of them, you just keep doing like a stealth jump down from a building on him, and he can't do anything to you. You just keep doing it 4 times, and he's dead. It's
that's a shame.
It's alright. It's alright.
Yeah, because I mean everybody at work was going on about it, and I was like, it's not going to be as good as you think it is. Which it sounds like I was right, to be fair.
Yeah, I think people have made a bigger deal of the Nemesis system than it actually warrants. If the game didn't have it, it would be a lot worse. It is the only interesting thing in the game, because without it, it's a licensed game that rips off Batman: Arkham Asylum and some Assassin's Creed, and like, the Nemesis system is the only thing that's sort of good about it, and like a sort of unique identifier. But if it changed, if it was more real time, if you could come across things just naturally wandering around, and if you had to actually use the system to take out like the top enemies, then I think it'd be really good. But as it is, you just get to a point where you don't even need to use it. You can just wade in and you're like Superman, basically.
Da, 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 da. Do you play that music?
In my head, yes.
Are you Superman?
You are pretty much in it. You are like you can pound the ground and like steal people's souls, which is what Superman does. So, yeah.
Well, let's read some comments. Let's see what's going off. So, Lactobacillus Prime says vagina bomb. Question mark. So yeah. Dean, I know shit all about games. May learn something here. Some names of games at least. Well,
we have lots of names.
We have lots of names. I don't know if you're going to know anything about them by the time we've done, but yeah, no. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else we've played this year. What else have we played?
Do you know what?
What?
A very big game, or supposedly big game, came out this year, and we both played it. Can you remember what it is?
Not that I can remember. Go on.
Titanfall.
Oh, of course, yeah. I forgot about that. I wasn't all that impressed with it.
Yeah, but remember the hype?
Yeah, mass amounts of hype on that bastard, yeah.
Yeah, I was sort of just looking back at the year what actually came out, and I was like, oh, Titanfall. Oh, I remember that.
No, Titanfall, the actual robot bits were really good. I actually enjoyed it, but you were doing the same things over and over and over again. You know.
Yeah, I think they had the campaign was rubbish.
What campaign? There wasn't one. It was shocking.
But I liked the idea of it. If they could do that again, they could do it right.
But it sounds to me that they actually were going to go, into doing something, and then it just never really happened.
Yeah, it sounds like a pretty troubled development, really.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like they got thrown off whatever it was they were doing with Modern Warfare and everything, and then just never really came about, did it?
Yeah, the rumor I heard is like Activision wouldn't let them do Modern Warfare at first. They're like, no, 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 Call of Duty is about World War Two, and um, the developers, what were they called? Infinity Ward.
It was Infinity, yeah.
They were
Yeah.
like, no, we really believe in this. We want to do a modern one. And they made it. It was Modern Warfare. It was great. Everyone loved it. Suddenly they changed the whole thing. A few years later, they're like, well, we're sick of this one, so if we want to do a future one. And Activision were like, no, 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 no. You've got to do the modern timeline. This is this is what Call of Duty is. So they fell out, and lots of other stuff as well. And they left, and they made Respawn, and they made Titanfall, which is probably what the Call of Duty game was going to be.
Yeah.
And then Activision have made Advanced Warfare anyway.
Yeah, I mean, that seems to have come out with little to no fan... Well, it came out with a big fanfare, but everybody just seems to have said, yeah, it's better than the last one. And that's about it.
I just think there's just general fatigue with that sort of. And I think they get a new generation. The games that were big in the last generation often don't carry over.
Yeah.
It's often like game series that start in the new generation that sort of like take over. Someone will come up with something and everyone go, oh, alright, that's great. Because if people like think, oh, what the big franchise at the moment, like Call of Duty wasn't. It technically existed before the last generation, but it wasn't really up to much.
No, I mean, it seemed to, it seemed to kind of come about in its prime on Xbox 360 and PS3.
Yeah, that's where it sort of really got going. And like Assassin's Creed didn't exist, Gears of War didn't exist. A lot of the big sellers, apart from like, Grand Theft Auto, it's the only one that seems to book the trend.
Yeah, that's a juggernaut though. That will never ever seem to stop.
And I think it's because it takes such care over it. They don't release too many of them, spend a lot of money and time on them.
I was never a big fan of Grand Theft Auto 4 though. I never
The
liked
thing is,
4.
like, I'm not a fan of the games. They fall into this. I know people love them, but I'm not a fan of these open world games where they let you do lots and lots of different things, but the things they make you do aren't very good. Like, it's like, oh, you can drive cars. It's not as good as driving in a driving game. Oh, you can shoot people, but it's not as good as shooting people in a shooting game. And like, oh, you can go to the gym. Why would I go to the gym?
Yeah, I mean, oh,
but it's not as good as like a game which is dedicated to flying. Like, I'd rather play a game dedicated to like one sort of field and does it really well, rather than play one game that tries to do everything and does it sort of like,
Yeah, no. I mean, Grand Theft Auto 4 had that annoying fucking bloke in it who kept on saying, Roman, do you want to go bowling? And it's like, no, just leave me alone. I just want to play the game and shoot people. And it's just like, no, it will not let you do that. It will just constantly batter you until it does something that you have to tell it to, because otherwise if you don't do these things, you don't win the game, apparently, if that's right. Correct me if I'm wrong, viewers. Correct me if I'm wrong. Let's have a look. Sorry, I think we've just... Nova Bug's just come in, and Stefan, you need to make your bed.
Yes, I do. It's washing day.
Washing day? You have a washing day?
Well, I mean, it's the day when I realise I need to clean clothes and bedding.
So you call it washing day?
Yes.
I don't think you have a washing day, do you?
Today it is Monday. It could be a Thursday or a Tuesday. Who knows?
Is washing day after Thursday?
We have like a bunch of witches who live in my basement, and they've got a cauldron, and they put exotic ingredients in, and they filter it through, and then it drips down a colour, and depending on what colour it is, depends on which day.
How exotic are we talking?
Oh, like very rare stuff, like bourbon.
Bourbon?
Bourbon and dog's piss.
That's not exotic. That's just.
Have you tried getting some dog's piss?
Well, I could probably go down to the local newsagent and ask for some, I suppose.
And yeah, duck speak.
Duck speak. Now that is pretty rare. Duck speak. Anyway, so what else have you played this year?
What else have I played? I've just started on Dragon Age Inquisition.
On
I'm not very
PS4?
far on PS4, yeah.
Can
I'm
you
not very
carry
far.
can you carry the saves on from the last two?
They've, oh right, rant time. Okay.
Fuck. Sorry.
Yeah, well, no, what they've done for it is they've set up this thing called the Dragon Age Keep, where it's like an
Right.
online system where you can go and if you can remember what you did in the two games, you can tell it this is what you did.
That's what you can do with it's Mass Effect Genesis, isn't it? That same thing.
Yeah, yeah. And I haven't done it because I only played about a third of Dragon Age 1, and that was it. Like,
Right.
but when you start the game up, it's like, oh, you need to log into Origin for some reason. If you want to access your Dragon Age Keep or play the multiplayer, oh, you need to use Origin. It's like, well, okay. What is your Origin ID? And I go, McGavison. And he goes, Origin ID already exists. I'm like, I know, it's me, for fuck's sake. All it says that exists. I'm like, yes, it does. And can I log in? And he goes, no, it already exists. Because it's me! So I go online and I'm like, what's going on here? And it says, well, what you need to do is you need to download the Origin client onto your computer, open it up, log in, go to the chat window, click add friends, then go to connect your PSN account and add your PSN details. So I do that, and it's like, oh no, that's registered to another Origin account. I'm like, which one? Which one? I like some of their advice is like, I have to make sure your email address is the same for your PSN account and your Origin account, and mine are. But apparently I have some phantom Origin account somewhere, which I don't remember what it is. Hell yeah, I have one main email address, so I don't know what it could be. I literally have no idea what it's going on about. It's like, oh.
So did you actually, get it sorted in the end, or?
No! Spent an hour last night going, ooh, Dragon Age, and spent an hour trying to log into Origin.
That would have put me off. I'd
Yeah,
have just took it back.
I mean, the single player works fine, so I've just gone with it, and I'll figure it out later maybe. It's just I actually quite liked the multiplayer in Mass Effect 3. When he announced it, I was pissing and moaning, oh, they're adding multiplayer to every game that doesn't need it, rah 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 rah. And then I actually quite liked it. So I ate some delicious crow on that, but.
I must admit, it didn't add anything to the ending, though, did it?
Oh yeah, I mean that was it. I thought the single players could be great and the multiplayers could be crap, and it ended up being the other way around, really.
It did, yeah, it did. Yeah. Mind you,
So-
that was last year, though, wasn't it? So it wasn't this year.
Oh yeah. It's just I'm assuming the Dragon Age multiplayer is probably going to be similar to the Mass Effect multiplayer, so it's probably going to be quite good. So I would like to give it a go at some point, but I don't know if I ever will because Origin's oh yeah, your name already exists. What am I going to do about that? I don't know.
Yeah, I to be honest, I couldn't get on with Dragon Age 1. I just couldn't do it. I could not get to grips with it.
I tried and it never clicked with me.
I don't like the idea that you have to move and tell it to attack at the same time, and then the attack continues after you've told it to attack. I don't understand that mechanic at all. It's an odd mechanic, and my head will not accept it.
I generally have a hard time with those games where you can move around, and when it comes to attacking, you either hold the button down or it auto attacks. You kind of leave it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what Dragon Age does. And I've got to the hinterlands, which is the I've done the prologue. I'm in the hinterlands, which is the first big main area going.
All
And
right.
apparently the game doesn't really get going until after that, so it's too early to judge.
Mm.
But yeah, it was happening. I was like, oh, no.
It was happening.
It was happening. You know that feeling where you're like, oh, this is the stuff I don't like. Um,
Do you know what though? Whenever I hear people talk about World of Warcraft, I know why people like it, but it just goes through my soul. I can't even tell you why. And I've watched my viewers just suddenly go down as soon as I say that.
I don't know. It's like I had the same problem with
Hmm.
like that MMO style of RPG.
Yeah.
I I found the combat really disengaging on that.
No, I'm the same. I can't get to grips with it
I
either.
find like turn-based, grid-based, menu-based, I can connect with those, but as soon as it's like we're giving you the freedom of movement and attack, but at the same time making you do these little very specific like the actual attacks are like automated to an
They're
extent.
almost like a separate entity of itself, which I don't understand, which is what Dragon Age does.
Yeah, but I think I found the way I can enjoy the game. It has a tactical view, which when you activate it sort of pulls out, and you
Alright.
get like a sort of bird's eye, and you can order your troops to attack and use certain powers,
Right.
and then you can just advance time on that and watch it play out.
Okay.
And I think I'm going to play the rest of the game like that.
I must admit, you could kind of do that with Mass Effect from what I remember. You could kind of tell them where to go and what to do. In
Yes,
that
you
kind of
could, but Mass Effect doesn't have the problem Dragon Age had.
way.
I think it was weird. Mass Effect it worked fine. I think maybe because you were shooting and you were
Yeah.
behind cover, and the way things played out, you could see everything, and it was more like, and the way you activated powers, you had it on one wheel for
Yeah.
everyone, and you could just sort of go, oh, you do that, you do that. On this, you have to swap characters,
Right.
and it's quite daunting at first actually, because everyone's got like three abilities at the start, and you get four people, and you're like, oh, what does all this do? And they all do these very specific things, and you're like, ah. But you do get used to it, and
And
it's and
I was just
um,
thinking, and
I'm just going through my thoughts really, because it's I only just really started playing it today, so it's still. But one of the problems I was having, I was trying to play it like Mass Effect. So I had it over the shoulder, and I would see someone, and I'd be like, right, you fire an arrow, you fire a freeze spell here, and then I'd carry on with my guy going attacking.
Hmm.
And it meant I never got the feedback to what happened with the arrow and the freeze spell. Because it turned out they killed the guy, and I didn't know. And there was another guy that was the same sort of character. They were like, it's like a green glowing archer guy.
Hmm.
And I only saw one of them, and then there was. So I told them to attack that, so they did, and I carried on. And then another one was shooting at me. I was like, did they take out the first one and there was the second one, or did they fail to take out the first one? I was like, I don't know what's happened. I've given them some orders, but because I've carried on and I'm doing my over the shoulder fighting, I don't get to see what happens
Hmm.
with my orders.
Hmm. Maybe you need a vagina bomb.
Maybe I do. But if you do
Maybe
the tactical thing, tactical camera,
Yeah.
that you can watch it play out, and I think I prefer that a lot more.
Right.
And that's a lot more like what they did with Baldur's Gate as well. So that's sort of.
Yeah. I don't think I'll be playing it. I think I'll give it a wide berth. I don't think I'll be playing that. Like I say, I think with fantasy-based stuff, it has to. I don't know. It has to be a specific kind of fantasy before I even touch it.
The thing is, like, yeah, it's a bit generic to be honest. Dragon Age, it doesn't really do much to really set itself apart, and it's still quite ugly in a way.
Always has been though.
Yeah, it's got the BioWare ugly look to it. And because they swapped engines, they're on Unreal Engine, and now they're on the Frostbite engine.
I heard they changed it. Yeah.
So I thought, like, maybe with a new generation and changing engine, they might like get stuff up to snuff. But like the animations are still pretty bad. The character models just look off in that BioWare way.
Yeah, I must
And
admit, the first Dragon Age, I remember playing it, and my character glitched, and he basically was stuck in the battle stance. So in every conversation, it'd be like this,
you
in
know what?
people's
That happened.
faces.
Well, not exactly that, but earlier on when I was playing it, I got stuck in the battle stance.
Hmm.
So I had a fight, and then I killed everyone. And when you're sort of wandering around the field, after you had a battle, you sort of put your weapons away. You could go interact with things, but you got stuck in a combat stance, and I couldn't get it to stop doing it. So I mean, that sounds like the same bug, really. Games later, but and the hair is terrible. The hair is really bad.
Yeah, the hair was in the first one. It looked like straw.
Yeah, it's got. Have you seen Community?
No, I haven't. I've heard of it though.
There's a character, Piers Hawthorne. His dad has a hairpiece made out of ivory, and it looks ridiculous. And I looked at it and went, that's BioWare hair. It looks like a plastic chunk has just been put on someone's skull, and the hair looks terrible. I can't stop looking at it. I can't stop looking at the hair. And it's really off-putting. That hair's really shit. The environments are really nice, actually. The environments.
Always have been. Every BioWare game always looks nice. Environmentally, it does.
But you think, like, they put such an emphasis on character in the stories and everything. You think, like, right, okay, you'd make sure at least your main hero characters would look good. But they don't. They look a bit ugly.
We've got a special guest with us. It's Mr. Novabug.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm relishing my last night off.
Oh, bless.
To work.
You back tomorrow?
No, not. I've got tomorrow off, but this will be my last night. I'm 5:30 in the morning on New Year's Eve.
Rather not. So yeah, we're talking about games that we've played over 2014. So what games have you played this year?
Anything on a Wii U.
I know you've been. I was going to bring that up actually. I played no Wii U. I don't know anyone who owns one except, well, maybe you know the bug. And like, yeah, people are now saying Nintendo had a really good year, but I don't know if they have.
I think they did because they recovered.
They seem to be pulling some good games out of their arse, like Bayonetta 2 and stuff like that.
Tell you, Smash Brothers is just unbelievable. So much fun. So much fun.
I know he wouldn't like it though. I don't think you'd like it, Stefan, would you?
No, it's not. It's I think they put good games out. It's just I think they played to their base a lot this year, and
But that's their strength.
yeah, but they're sort of in a hole. And I think every console generation, Nintendo loses a little bit of their fan base, and they're not like with Pokemon. Pokemon sells great every time for some reason, and the sort of the reason is a new generation of kids comes along and they all jump aboard Pokemon. So they can get away with like redoing Pokemon every time because there's always a new group of kids who've grown up and gone, oh, this is Pokemon and love Pokemon. It doesn't seem to happen on their consoles though. Like they seem to be.
Nintendo have the stigma of the NES days, and they've had that with every console since they monopolised the marketing with the NES and subsequently the Super NES. They've gone, they pissed people off with the N64 and the GameCube.
I liked them during those days though.
I like all the consoles. I never had a problem with any of them. But I can see why they were beaten. GameCube, for instance, by the PS2.
Oh yeah.
Because Sony just took over with the PlayStation 1 and 2, didn't they?
Yeah.
So I think the mistakes were made with the Wii U, but I tell you what, if anyone actually takes the time to get one, it's a really good machine. It really is. It's so far away from the Wii. It's a step away from the Wii because it's not more about the casual stuff. You get really in-depth games on it, and I think it's just that's the problem, that people just haven't got over the Wii generation kind of thing, and they thought it was an add-on for the Wii, and it's not. And of course, the third parties are still licking their wounds with Nintendo.
Sorry, Chris. I'm just looking at your headset.
I can't be bothered to wear it.
Wonder what we're going off. I'm just like, I'm sure that's supposed to be on his head.
I can put it down here and just have it sticking out of my... There you go.
That looks better. I like that.
So,
Sorry, do carry on. I just
I put it up here so it's out of the way. There, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Good. Right.
What other games have you played this year? Has it just been Wii U?
For modern stuff, yeah. But I've been playing my brother's PS4 as well.
Mm-hmm.
At the beginning of the year, I thought Rez was brilliant. It still is. And it was topping like the PlayStation 4 charts for months.
Is it that Resogun?
Resogun, yeah.
Oh yeah, I bought that the other day. It's great. Yeah.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's an indie game. And download only. It was free with PS Plus when the PlayStation 4 came out. And I'm sure it topped the charts all the way up until like June. It's being the best game on the PlayStation 4. And that kind of says a lot about the AAA titles on the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. Up until
Kind of does, yeah. But it's kind of like, remember Geometry Wars? When the Xbox 360 came out and there was like nothing for months and everyone went nuts for Geometry Wars, it feels a bit like that again.
Well, they've re-released it, haven't they? It's Sierra that's doing it. They've brought Sierra back to life. They're the ones who made it.
Yeah.
So I don't know how that's kind of come about, but all of a sudden Sierra just comes out at woodwork and then boom, Geometry Wars 3, everyone.
Yeah, it's returned.
Returned from the grave.
So I didn't want to skip over the Wii U stuff necessarily. I mean, did you play Bayonetta 2? Novabug?
Yeah.
Is it really good?
I thought it was excellent, but I've only got so far because I'm waiting for my 2 copies to arrive. But of course, I'm forgetting about how can you forget Mario Kart 8? Outstanding.
It's the only game I think I've ever seen that comes out the same way every time, but they just tout up the graphics, add a few courses on and a couple of players, and it sells bucket loads because it just works, doesn't it?
Yeah. And why fuck around with a formula?
Yeah.
You've seen what when you fuck around with a formula and you change the formula too much, people go fuck off.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've been playing Mario Kart Wii over Christmas actually.
It's good, isn't it? I enjoyed it.
It's one of those where it works really well as like a sort of party game or like an occasion. Like for Christmas, it was great. We got lots of people, and you just go like, this goes fast." And like, so I appreciate Nintendo games on that level. I just know with the way I play games, if I was to buy like a Wii U and Mario Kart 8, I'd be playing on my Todd most of the time. And like, I just wouldn't get that experience.
We've got the online functionality with Mario Kart 8, which was
sorry. I was just going to read some comments because we're kind of Basically, Dean's come in. He's saying he's eating bourbon biscuits. That's just a Stefan there from his comment earlier about the witches in his basement.
If you want a good Friday brew for washing, you need some bourbon biscuits.
Yeah.
Crucial.
Custard creams?
Nah.
Nah.
Gary Baldy.
But yeah, no, Dean's just actually getting at me here. So yeah, he's saying now I can feel some involvement. As a non-gamer, I like my Wii because it's simple to play games with friends when you have them around, like Mario Kart and bowling. Other consoles I found too serious and hardcore. Do you think the Wii U would serve me well as a social gaming console?
It was both. I think it's both. I mean, I bought it primarily for two reasons. I've got a young family, as you know, Dave.
I do.
And I wanted a next-gen console that I could get adult games on, but also have a massive repertoire for the family. And the Wii U fits that. Because I can sit here and play Bayonetta 2 or Zombie U, for instance, and the kids can't play because they can't watch that because that's, you know, adult gaming. And on it, I'm Watch Dogs as well. But then I can turn around and put Wii Sports Club on, or Nintendo Land.
Can you play normal Wii games on the Wii U as well?
Yeah, it's fully backward compatible. Yeah.
There you are, Dean. Buy one. There you go.
You can switch it to Wii mode.
I didn't know that.
And transfer your Wii data to the Wii U as well.
Oh, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
There's a weird part of me that wants one, and I know as soon as I get it, I'll never play it. I know that because when I got the Wii the first time round, I played it probably for like, you know, Wii Fit or whatever it was, just as a laugh. As Stefan knows, you've seen me pretty drunk trying to do yoga a few times.
Yes, yeah. That's it. It's like it thrives in certain situations, but not like everyday ones. And like, I think the problem with the Wii U is it just has no third-party games.
That's not the problem. I don't think that's the problem. So
it's a weird thing because I mean I know the one thing I've talked to you about before because like some people I've talked to, like when you talk about Wii U, the way that they've named it, and I'm sure we've gone over this before in another live stream before, but one of the things I always thought it was is the way it was named. I always thought that was the problem because when you say Wii U, when you say Wii U, you think, oh, it's an expansion to the Wii.
Yeah, people did.
And I always thought that was the problem because nobody knows what that means, Wii U. Not a clue. And when you look at it, it looks like a normal Wii. Unless you look really hard with the curved edges and the actual pad. There's not much to it.
The thing, Nintendo, I don't know how they are naming things anymore. Because ever since they did the DS, which made sense, dual screens, yes, then the Wii, and everyone laughed at that name. Everyone said the Wii was a stupid name. They got used to it, and I thought, fine, whatever. And then it was the 3DS, which I always thought was a bad name. It's like, oh, it's a 3D DS. No, it's the next gen like handheld, which has 3D, and then they released a 2DS, which is a 2D version of the 3DS.
And that's all right for me with my eyes.
Like, well, I mean, the system fine, whatever. It was DS, 3DS, 2DS. Like, when you look at that, and then the new one is called literally New 3DS. That's its name. New 3DS.
Is that what it's actually called?
That's what they're calling it. New 3DS.
Yeah, that's a bit bad naming. It is.
I don't know what they're playing at. Like,
they're playing badminton, Stefan. Badminton.
Yeah, it's just
the only person that gets their naming right is Sony. Obvious. 1, 2, 3, 4. Duh. You know.
Mind you, I take umbrage with Vita.
Xbox One. Seriously. Xbox One. No.
Yep.
Now we're all referring to the first Xbox as, you've got to say the original Xbox, because people usually go Xbox, people go, so is that the 360 you're talking about, or the one which is the third? Right, okay, we're with you now.
I think they should have just stuck with 720. That wouldn't have been so bad. Even though it's like going round in a circle and back on yourself.
But I still have conversations where we get mixed up between the original Xbox and Xbox One.
Yeah,
that still happens, and it's like, so they've gone Xbox 360, Xbox One, and then what's next for them? Xbox 361? I don't know.
Zero.
Yes.
Maybe, I mean, like, what was the GameCube originally going to be called?
It was codenamed Dolphin.
Dolphin. I'd have bought it with, if it were called Dolphin. I thought Dolphin was a cool name.
Yeah, and
N64 had a project name like that.
Ultra 64.
Ultra 64.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah. And the Wii was called the Revolution. So it was the Wii.
What was the name you gave me for something else, and I actually believed you?
I said the DS was codenamed Kangaroo.
I'd have bought that because the way you described it, you said the reason why they called it Kangaroo was because it had a pouch, and that was the other screen.
Yeah, it was all bullshit.
Hey, I was on board with Kangaroo. I was so on board. I was so on board with that.
You were in the pouch.
I am actually in the satchel. Let's just see if we've had any comments, ladies and gents. So, yes, Hellfire 64. He's a good guy. New 3DS, easily the worst naming ever, though the Xbox One isn't far behind. As we were just saying.
I'm with him on that.
Yeah.
They're far worse examples than the Wii U, that's for sure.
Yeah. But can I afford one?
They're still quite expensive,
one.
Both of them.
Get in contact with Monkey Spaz, because he seems to be able to afford half the fucking stock of the UK.
That bastard has he's had about 5 PS4s, that lad.
I think he's had about 4 PS4s, 3 Wii U's. How many Xbox Ones, I don't know. Probably more than the generations.
And he's being redundant. Don't know how he does it. Genuinely don't know how he does it. Mind you, I bought a PS4 in Black Friday sales. Yeah, this is a real story, but I've kept quiet about it. I bought a PS4 in Black Friday sales for 300 quid. Told my mum about it, and she went, I bought you one for Christmas. So I had to sell mine off. So I sold mine off, and then she took hers back. I didn't have a PS4, so she had to go back out and buy it again.
I'll tell you what about if I because I will be getting a PS4 at some point. But I'm like Stefan. I'm afraid, and you. I'm like afraid that if I buy the PS4, it'll play second fiddle to the Wii. The Wii U, should I say? Sorry. And it'll just sit there. I'll play it for a bit, and then most of the time it'll just sit there and look pretty, because that's what it does look very pretty. I've got to give it that. And it'll sit there and look pretty, and that's all it'll do. I've got a funny feeling that's what will happen.
I must admit, I've got a proper PC gaming thing, and I bought a PS4. Don't know why, but I wanted one. And I think it's one of the best purchases I've done in such a long time. Genuinely. I mean, some of the games I played on it over the Christmas period have been really good to play, actually.
I know, I agree. It's got fun. I think it's brilliant as a gaming machine. I love it.
They've actually got it right this time, because I thought the PS3 was a bit of a disappointment.
It's a cock-up.
Yeah, and that pad, I hate that pad. That pad is just...
Oh, yeah.
That pad.
3. Yeah.
I don't know what it is. It's exactly the same as the PS2, but it just...
Well, it's not.
It looks it.
It looks it, but it's half the weight because it hasn't got the vibration weights in it. It doesn't vibrate. It's motion sensitive. It's internally it's completely different. That's why they came out with the DualShock 3.
Yeah, you're right.
It's the natural successor to the DualShock 2 because it's got rid of the fucking crappy motion control that was in it and put the weights back in.
Yeah.
The vibration.
I had to modify. I had to add some grips on. I had these little things which on the analog sticks. I had some triggers to make the DualShock 3 playable. I had to keep adding lots of random crap on it, and yeah, I have a PS3, and I never got into it sort of that sort of ecosystem. I don't like using it as a device. I don't like the menus and the way it goes about doing everything. I don't find it pleasurable.
Oh, Stefan.
Yeah, you know what I mean? There's sort of the amount of times I would turn on the PS3 and it was system update available. And then it would faff around for half an hour, and then it'd come back on, and it hasn't changed anything. You can't. And like in that time, you're just like, well, I've gone and done something else. And yeah, I didn't like the menus, and everything was ridiculously slow. But I love the PS4. I think they're out, and one of the things I'm actually really liking about it is you have the bar when you boot it up. You've got a bar which is like a list of games and apps you use.
Yeah, that is a
just-
pretty good bit.
Just subscribe to PSN, PlayStation Plus. They give you like 3 games every month, and like so I just have a row of games, and like I can just dip in and out of whichever game I want to play. And when you get a new game and you put it in, it was like I need to download 5.5 gigs for a patch. You're like, oh, well, okay, I can play all these other games that I've got.
Yeah, that is something I've actually liked about it, actually, because when you actually update a game, it'll just be like, yeah, you don't have to just kind of just stick around waiting for it to download. Like, the 360 does it pretty badly, and the PS3 does it as well.
Yeah,
But the PS4 just doesn't do that. It just lets you go about your own business.
Really quick patches because of their patching system. They had specific rules about what you could change, and it could only be a certain size. It's like a ridiculously small patch size, and basically all the developers had to work around it, and they managed it. But this generation, like, oh, you don't have to do that anymore. Now you get like 20 gig patches for something, so you're like, this is ridiculous. And I know you've got fibre, Dave. I don't know about Novabook, but I've just got an 8 meg connection, and it takes forever to download anything. Like,
Yeah.
like gigs of like Wolfenstein. That was 5.5 gigs for a day one patch. I have no idea what's in those 5.5 gigs, but that was the size of 360 games. That was the entire size of a 360 game that I've had to download as a patch. Like, what's going on?
That's another issue altogether, is patches, isn't it?
Yeah.
Surely some of these games be fixed and tested before they come out.
That's something I was just going to say. I mean, like, we bought New and Tasty, you know, Abe's Odyssey, the remake.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't done. It wasn't ready. And the amount of patches they have thrown at that game to fix it, and it's still broke. And it's a really good game. I mean, it's good, it's great, but it's just like, you should have waited. You should have waited until throwing this out. It's still not right. It freezes for no reason. You'll jump, and then halfway through jump it'll just stop. And you're just like, what do I do now? Fuck all, because it won't move. You're just stuck. Like a bourbon biscuit floating in the air, Stefan.
But see, this has been the year for broken games. There's been like countless, like
I'll tell you
Assassin's Creed and all that.
Almost the least broken games.
Which one?
Nintendo, yeah. I mean, that's it. I'll give it to
Well, yeah.
Nintendo. They release a game and it works.
Yeah, that's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah. And everyone else used to be able to do this as well. And it's just like suddenly, just because they don't have to pay for patches anymore, and they're not restricted by sizes. They're just like, yeah, fuck it. And it's really bad. They need to stop doing it, or people are just gonna get bored and just not bother.
Chris, who was it? Who was it that was saying? I don't know if you watched it. Was it? But he basically gave this really heartfelt thing about like saying that we shouldn't buy games if they're not ready, and it's about time that we stop buying games. Who was it?
I don't know, was it Rich Review Tech USA or something?
That's him. That's him. Thank you. I knew you'd remember him. Yeah, he was like saying we should just stop buying games. If they're not ready, don't buy them.
But, yeah, I'm not sure that'll work, really. I mean, going back to what Stefan said a minute ago about menu systems and stuff, I've never got on board with that. No, not since the seventh generation. It's always been a little bit alien to me because I'm so fucking old. And this is I don't know. I want this is Master System, and you know what I'm going to say, Amstrad. But no, the PS3. When I first played that, I was sort of freaked out by it. I was like, well, "What's it doing? What's it doing? What's all this bollocks here? This is a console. I want it to go. I want a game to go in and it to go. Okay, play, go, let's go. Not all this pissing around with menus and stuff. And it took it ages to get used to that.
PS3 menus are fucking. Actually, to be honest, the 360.
Well, it took me ages to get used to that as well. The Wii menu, even though that's a lot more straightforward.
The PS4 one is genuinely, it's just a row,
Yeah.
and you just pick one and you're in. That is literally it, and it's really easy.
I know it's a lot easier, but it's just. It's like what the PS2 does. You put the disc in, you turn the PS2 on, and your game starts, and you think, "That's what I want."
I think you can still do that. I think you can turn it on.
Yeah, you can change the setting. Yeah.
But I mean, theoretically, but yeah, if you buy a new game and stick it in, it's gonna be like, oh, I need this patch. And, you need to connect to Origin. You need this shit.
Patch it and install it. And what's with the installing thing? It's not a PC. If I would understand, I want to install it on a PC, but the Wii U doesn't pre-install.
Yeah, it's because they want. Because the disk drives just aren't very fast, so they've made it a minimum requirement that everything goes on the hard drive, so games can rely on it having that speed of the hard drive. So that's why they've done it.
PS4 and Xbox One though.
Sorry?
Only on the PS4 and Xbox One.
Oh yeah. But then again, the Wii U is pretty much. It's like a 360 and PS3 in technology. It's not much more advanced from that. But I think with the PS4 and the Xbox One, they would genuinely have issues in streaming stuff off the disc fast enough. Because they've got like 8 gig RAM. So if you've got a game which is using like gigs and gigs of RAM, it needs to be fed fast enough. You can't feed it fast enough, and this.
I take exception with it. Okay, fair enough. I do take exception with the previous statement, though. For someone who doesn't own a Wii U to boldly say, "Oh, it's on level with the Xbox 360, PS3," well, play one.
It is a bit more powerful, but in terms, if you was to say which it's closer to, it's probably more.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair comment. That's fair comment.
I'm not saying, it can do better than the 360 and PS3. Yeah, definitely. But, like...
You got told off, Stefan.
No, he's right. It was me being a bit lazy. No, because, I mean... Because people have been throwing that around, like, the Wii U is only as powerful as the 360 and PS3, and it is more powerful. And...
Well, it's a case of who blunked first, isn't it? And Nintendo blunked first. It's not as powerful as the other two. I know that, but I don't think with the first party exclusive they had that they will never appear on any other platform. If you want to play Mario Kart 8, if you want to play Super Smash Brothers, if you want to play Bayonetta 2, which is a massive coup for them, you have to get a Wii U. You haven't got a choice. Because it doesn't have them multiplats, and I think that's kind of where it benefits. Yes, it would be great if it had lots of multiplats on, because it would have that free range too. But they're kind of making the best out of a bad situation, because the multiplat developers are never going to come back on board when they can make them pretty easily from Xbox One and PS4, when they can just port them across piece of piss.
Right, well, I've got some comments anyway, just to go into it. Dean's just said, I thought Stefan had aged, but it's just the camera quality, I hope. Dave, you're as beautiful as ever.
I hope I haven't aged.
Dean, so Chris, you sound like my kind of gamer. This is from Dean.
Okay.
Turn it on, it works. No fannying about. Simples.
Yeah.
We've got the Highlander, so Woota. Woota. You guys sound so intelligent.
It's a good act.
And also as well, we've got another guy watching us. It's Game Not Loaded, Steve. He can't comment, but he's sent me a message saying, hope you get this. I've been watching the live feed and I have no idea how to comment or message. Hi! But yes, let us continue.
Fingers on the keyboard generally works.
He only has a phone. He's from Glasgow, isn't he? So he only has a phone. Bless him.
Fucking iPhone generation. Oh dear.
So yeah, I'm going to say, what else have we all been playing? I think We're not going to talk about the nostalgia trip stuff that we've been playing this year because they've all been pretty bad, haven't they?
Yeah. Quickly, worst game I played this year is Driving Force. That's
Yes, that was pretty fucking awful.
I have not played a game that broken ever. Like it takes the piss. Like,
Yeah. So if you ever want to have a look through my channel, look up Driving Force.
Yep, that's my pick for the worst game of the year. Like from the nostalgia stuff.
Yeah, Victory Boxing was mine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Boxing game. Big
Punching
surprise.
someone in the chops.
Sonic Boom was mine.
Sonic Boom.
Boom.
Age of Lycra. Age of Linen.
Sonic Boom.
That was that's pretty broken.
It looks like it should be still in beta, that game.
Yeah. It looks like it was developed on the N64 as well, which is alarming.
It saddens me because the guys who designed it, some of the guys were from the guys who did Crash Bandicoot, so they should have known better.
Oh, Naughty Dog.
Some of the guys that left, they went and made that.
It's all about time, money, and resources, though, isn't it? It's like you can have some talented guys, but if they're not given the time and the money and the resources to play it off.
Sonic shouldn't be 3D though. That's the problem.
No. Imagine if they, like what they've done with New Super Mario Brothers U, and they did a new Sonic the Hedgehog game in that style.
Hmm.
They did it. It was episode 4, but they did it wrong.
Yeah.
Didn't they try Generations?
Yeah, I think that was split between 3D and 2D.
How did that one go?
And I just, my Sonic heart has been broken.
If you have a look online, there's actually the Sonic cycle.
Yeah,
Actually, everybody gets excited because it's actually coming back. Everybody starts getting worried because it's getting to that point. It comes out, everyone gets disappointed. Another one gets re-announced, everyone gets excited again, and it goes around.
There's always that thing like, oh, you're just only going to play as Sonic this time, and then it's like, oh no, his friends are back. Oh no, they've added some more friends that nobody cares about. Oh no.
Big the fucking cat. Fuck that cat. I hate that fucking cat. And the
Amy the cat.
No, the Big the cat.
Oh, Big the cat. Alright.
Yeah, Amy Rose. You're thinking on fucking.
Amy Rose, yeah.
And Knuckles and his Chaotix crew or whatever it was, his ghetto crew.
Oh, who was that? That bat who had like a sexy bra on.
Oh shit!
I forgot his name. Yeah, something the bat. Yeah.
Oh, like there's Rouge, maybe.
Rouge. It was Rouge.
Rouge the bat. Rouge the bat.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, oh god, it really it creeps me out.
It's trying to make you horny.
Yeah. Bat porn.
I'm full circle there because at the beginning of the year I was playing Sonic and All Stars Racing Transform. Now that is a great Sonic game.
Sheffield.
Sumo.
They made that.
It's a really good game, that.
Yeah.
Really good.
Yeah, I was actually talking to those guys. They actually had to help me with a uni course that I had to do, so they were really helpful. So support Sumo. They're good.
It was Sumo. Yeah.
Yeah, they were really nice and helped me out. They were really good.
Do you want to do games of the year?
What game of the year?
Yeah.
I don't know. What's your game of the year, Stefan?
Alien Isolation. That is. I think it's been a rough year, and that is. I think that's been the one game where I'm like, wow, that's actually doing something sort of new and interesting, and like.
I got it for Christmas. Well, actually, no. I'm playing the copy that you lent me, actually. But I must admit, as soon as that fucking thing turns up, because my partner was watching me play it, and she was just saying this is boring as shit, and I went, give it time, something's going to happen, something is going to happen, and it finally just, the first time it turns up, it just snarls out of that fucking ventilation shaft, and then it's there, and it's just like, It's nothing. There's no big build up about it. It just shows up, and it's fucking terrifying because it just starts padding around, and it's just all the game is. It's just a big game of hide and seek. That's all Alien Isolation is, with this terrifying thing that looks like a penis for a head.
You got the first film though, didn't you?
Oh, I got scared of the first film. Yeah.
Yeah, it really captures the first Alien film. It's what works about it so well is it's not scripted really. It puts you in an environment and there's an alien wandering around and you've got to make it through and the aliens will be wandering around looking for you and there's all these systems in place to help you try and get through and there's humans wandering around and androids and you've got to sort of like make your way through and just the tension when you like it's looking for you and it can get in vents, it can find you anywhere. If you're hiding in a locker, you're not necessarily safe. It can find you still, and it's just like compared to something like Dead Space, where I could walk into a room in Dead Space and know if anything was going to happen because it was that scripted and that prescribed that you knew exactly what the game was going to do. But when you play Alien Isolation, because the AI is working like a proper AI. You don't know when it's going to show up, you don't know what it's going to do, you don't know which direction it's going to go in, and it's terrifying. It's really scared me.
Have you played it, Chris?
No, I haven't. I've read reviews on it, my brother's got it, and I'm hoping to play it soon.
The only thing I would say about it is, I mean, this is what people have complained about, but I actually find it like you were saying then, Stefan, the thing that winds me up about it is people saying, like, the AI is unpredictable, and it's like, dude, you're playing against a big, huge black alien that will act unpredictable. That's the point of it. If it wants to turn around and look behind it, himself, and think that you're there, it's going to do that. Because that's quite a natural, weird thing for that thing to do. If it thinks there's a free meal, it's going to look around and it's going to act erratically. And that's the whole point. Erratically, not erotically.
Erratically.
That's what I like about it. I was saying earlier about Shadow of Mordor and how the Nemesis system is really sort of like rigid and you can like twist it and play with it how you want to.
Yeah.
If the Alien was like that and it's like you knew guaranteed all this stuff would happen every time, then you'd lose the fear because you're just like, well, I just need to make sure this happens.
That's just good coding for me.
Yeah, it's just like the amount of time it hangs around and where it looks and like.
The terrifying thing is when you hide in a closet and it sniffs for you.
Yeah, you have to sort of lean back, and the amount of time it sniffs for can be different.
Yeah, you have to hold your breath and lean back, and if you kind of let the stick go really quick, she'll just go into the actual door, so she'll headbutt it. So then basically the alien just goes, "Oh, there you are," and comes straight back. But oh, go on. Sorry, Chris. Go on.
So I wonder if Silent Hills is going to be like that.
Yeah, I played PT actually the other day. I was on my own, so I played PT in the dark, and that's a scary game. That's a scary game.
Yeah, I saw clips and I was just like, no.
I got about 10 minutes of it.
I got stuck in the end.
I kept going around in circles and then kept getting more and more freaked out. I thought, no, fuck that. I think he did complete it in the end, and he got to the thing because he didn't know. I kept it from him because I knew it was Silent Hills, and he didn't know what it was.
Mm.
He was fooled by it, and he kept going. I said, just keep playing it, keep playing it, keep playing it. He got to the end, and he went, "It's fucking Silent Hill." I mean, yeah.
I think the thing that got me was from seeing people playing it was the fetus that was writhing around in the sink.
Oh, that's horrible. Yeah.
That's horrible. And the other one that got me was eyeballs coming out of paintings, just opening up and then closing, and I just went, no, I'm off. That's it. That freaks me the fuck out. It won't explain why it's there. That's why it frightens me. No. It's just no.
It's great because that's what the original Silent Hill did.
Yeah, and Silent Hill 2. Oh, Silent Hill 2. There were bits of that where I was just like, why is any of this happening? And it's just like, because we want to.
Yeah.
Deal with it.
I vividly remember. I've written a piece about it actually. The first scenes of Silent Hill 1, when you're just wandering through the snow and you think, what is going on? Nothing's actually happening, but you're getting afraid, and it's weird. It's a weird sensation. And then the shit starts going down. And you think, fuck, what's going to happen next? And
it's the bit where where Pyramid Head is just raping them two weird, whatever the fuck they are, things. Just, no.
Did you play Outlast?
No, I saw your actual little gameplay that you played of it, because you were like, I know he's coming. I don't know
where.
I know he's coming. Ah, there he is. He was just really British about it. Oh, there he is. Oh, golly gosh, he's got me now. I just seem to remember you just be like, oh, he's coming. Oh, he's got me. Oh, no.
Oh,
goodness.
The guy that chucks you off the balcony.
That's the one, yeah, because you were just like, I know he's coming. Yes.
Because I played that bit before, and I thought, I don't know why, because it's like Stefan was saying, it's a scripted game, so set pieces do happen in it. So once you played it through like once or twice, that's it. It loses its fear factor in a way. But I played that bit once before, and I thought, right, now I'm going to do it as a record. And I got to that bit, and I thought, can I fool him? can I sneak through this bit without him chucking me off the balcony? That's why I kept backing into it.
Yeah, because you were. I know, but you were going, he's not going to get me. He's not.
Around, and he's there.
Right. Anyway, let's read through some comments here. So, here we go. Woodland37, bloody hell, Novabug gets on every stream.
Yeah, I'm a right leech.
Highlander, I've never played a fucking Sonic game. Fucking Sonic game.
You should play Sonic. The Mega Drive ones, they are essential.
1, 2, and 3. Leave it at that.
Knuckles as well, yeah.
Oh, Sonic and Knuckles.
Yeah, play those. You
You do. The Highlander, does anything bad come from Sheffield, Dave? And then Woodland says, yes, Highlander, Yorkshire people. He knows as well. Yeah, Alien Isolation is a hide-and-seek game with a scary thing in it. Absolutely right, it is. But it does score points for lighting, and it looks like a movie.
The lighting's great.
It's the sex. It is the sex. Yeah. It is.
The models of the characters aren't great, to the point of, like, I wasn't sure who was an android or not. Because you know how...
the mouths!
Yeah, it's like...
They are. The lip sync is terrible.
Because there's a guy I thought, I think he's an android, but he might not be. It might just be the terrible facial animations, and it's like, you know what I mean? It's that's the only thing that sort of lets it down, like visually. Other than that, it looks great.
Dean's got a question to ask to us both. So we probably do this as a nostalgia trip. I don't know if Chris has played it as well and done it on his channel, but have you played the Getaway 1 or 2 on the PS2 on your nostalgia trip? We haven't, but we can get round to it because I never liked Getaway 1. I thought it was awful, but yeah, and he's actually said, I remember you weren't fond of it back in time. Yeah, because when you got shot, you had to kind of stand next to a wall and go, and then you go back into it, get shot, and then you'd have to do the whole thing all over again.
I played the. I remember playing the demo, and it was one of those big on, like, we're not gonna have a HUD, and when you're driving around, your indicators would flash.
Tell you where to go. Yeah. I remember that.
Cool ideas like that, but it was a bit wonky.
Yeah. Did you ever play it, Chris?
Yeah, the Getaway. First one. I got them both as well.
Did you do it on your channel?
No, I haven't done yet. But I've got over 100 PS2 games, so with all the hundreds of Amstrad and bloody everything else, it'll give me 3-4 years and I'll get around to it. No, I played the first one when it first came out, and the thing that struck me from it was I was very excited the fact that it was set in London.
Hmm.
And I'd be going like down the street and recognise landmarks and stuff. Is that going to work in a game? I don't know. But then I think there was one point, and this is so pedantic, but it's stupid. I got to the point where Malibu Station meets Malibu Road meets Edgware Road, and I know that area.
Yeah.
And I turned, and there's a roadblock there. And there's no explanation for that roadblock. It's like, oh, you can't get through here. Well, that's because that's the edge of the game. That's where it goes up to. But I want to drive to Hammersmith. But
I must admit, I didn't really think of it that way. I really didn't.
I don't know why. I was very. I kept going around the edges and finding all the game edges, and finding where the roadblocks are. These inexplicable roadblocks. But, oh, you can't get out of London. You are stuck in London. This is it.
Was it really accurate then, coming from London?
Bits of it were. It was obviously very compacted and for the needs of the game, but there were landmarks and road names that are familiar and they connect in the right way. But there are, of course, lots of shortcuts that don't exist. A bit like Grand Theft Auto London.
Yeah.
The layout of Grand Theft Auto London is basically accurate for where all the different areas of London are, but of course the roads aren't, because it's all layered like American roads.
Yeah.
See? And that's not the reality. You know, British roads are like fucking
Yeah.
all over the bloody place.
Um.
I liked it. I wasn't in love with it. That was the first time I played it. I haven't played it since. I bought it like last year or something.
It was the combat system that let it down for me. It was really dog-eared, really bad. Yeah, I had a few words about that. But anyway,
Black Monday was supposed to be better though, wasn't it?
Which one? Sorry.
Black Monday was supposed to be better.
Getaway 2. Actually, that was the next question. Woodland said, was there a Getaway 2? And obviously, yes, there was. Black Monday. I couldn't remember what it was called. Harry Yak. Dave is being overwhelmed by Sidewoods, said X Spectrum wallpaper. So, yeah. The Highlander. Have you guys seen the trailers to SOMA? Soma?
No.
Soma?
No.
Highlander? Can you tell us what Soma is? That sounded like I was being pedantic and really patronising. I didn't mean it that way. I just wanted to know what Soma stood for. Yeah, and Harry Yak says, Woodland, watch your mouth regarding Retro Unlim. And did I miss the Golden Skull?
Oh.
Ah, well, another time, another place. Anyway, where were we before I kind of ruined that? Where were we?
Well, I've given my game of the year.
Game of the year. Yeah. Noah Game of the year.
Game of the year has to be Mario Kart 8. Sorry.
Oh man, really?
Yeah. Yeah. You see people that don't play it and haven't played it that don't know.
No, it was Dave's reaction, like, really.
Sorry, I was actually sorry. That was really no. Each to their own. Each to their own.
Because I tell you what, any Call of Duty boring, Battlefield boring. Sorry, wasn't blown away by majorly anything on the. And like, apart from Resogun, and a few others on the PS4, Watch Dogs, I wasn't blown away by that. Seemed like I'd seen it before. In a way,
I didn't play Watch Dogs. It's
that was
one
a big disappointment. Yeah.
Was it bad?
Well, I think Smooth MJ goes on about this, and he's right. The main character of Watch Dogs is just really annoying and dull, and you think this guy's got no personality at all. And oh bloody hell, it's the android from Isolation. You know? It's got no soul to it. You don't care. You just don't. You don't care about it. You care more for Carlos in fucking Grand Theft Auto 3. Honestly. So that was a disappointment. What else? I can't think of anything that really blew me away on the PS4. I did enjoy Outlast. I did enjoy Resogun. I suppose. Oh, Wolfenstein I liked.
We were talking about that earlier because I'm playing that today. Rock hard in bits.
Hmm.
Absolutely rock hard.
But I like it's just quite a nice sort of modern homage to the Wolfenstein franchise. I like that.
I must admit, I love the first half. I've got to this bit and it's just kicking the shit out of me for being there. Literally.
Yeah, but I think the game I played the most and enjoyed the most, got the most out of, is Mario Kart 8.
No, I can understand it. Can't understand it. I know. This is it. We were saying 2014 has been so disappointing this year. Really, for AAA games, it's been really bad. You know, there's been nothing to kind of get people involved. Really.
Lots of hype, but lots of disappointment with that hype.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about Soul Suspect when we first started off, and that was a real disappointment. And Destiny, that was quite a big disappointment. You know, that was another one.
When I first joined the stream, I caught Stefan talking about Titanfall. And is it me, or did Destiny and Titanfall and all these suddenly come out in a big fanfare, go, whoa, look at this, and then in a couple of weeks everyone was like, what was that called again?
Yeah, exactly it. Yeah, you're right. And they just kind of went, Aah!
Yeah.
That were it.
It was weird, that. It was odd. Very odd. And everyone was rushing out, get Titanfall. Well, I won't, because I haven't got an Xbox One, but okay, fair enough, it might be a good game, I don't know. But then 3 weeks later, it was like, what was that all about then?
I got it on 360. It came out on 360, that's where I got mine, Titanfall. And it weren't bad, actually. Weren't a bad port.
Played it on the 360, and it was fine.
I didn't say it's a bad game, I don't know, I haven't played it, I'm not going to judge it, I haven't played it, but
it is
the
good.
way it appeared.
It is good in that sort of like Call of Duty multiplayer sense, but like the big, I think ultimately the problem with Titanfall is you couldn't swing a match that easily. I think one of the addictive things about Call of Duty is even if you're behind, you can go on a kill streak and you can pull it, and you can sort of like come from behind and win. With Titanfall, about halfway through a match, you knew if you were going to win or not. Because once the Titans came down, if the other team had like 2 or 3 Titans out, they could like lock it down, and I think ultimately that's what cost the game. They need to solve that.
It's balance, isn't it? It's more balance than anything else. That was the problem.
I think you just didn't have the ability to spin a game like you could with Call of Duty, and I think that's really addictive when you manage to pull that off. I think that's why it sort of dropped a bit. But yeah, we got 2 types of game this year, I think, for the AAA. We got cross-platform games, which were like generally compromised and working off old ideas and concepts. And then we had the sort of new next-gen games, which were all broken.
Yeah,
so
you're right.
I think we lost on both ends. Like, so we've got games which were like, oh, well, they're sort of limited by the last console, and then new ones like Drive Club didn't work, Assassin's Creed Unity didn't work.
Didn't Drive Club work? I thought that worked.
The online stuff didn't work.
Oh, that's a shame.
For months, it just didn't work. All the sort of like the new next gen games were all like, broken. And so there was nothing really. There was nothing that was sort of like, here's a great new idea. This is something we couldn't do on the previous consoles, and here it is working. And no one put it together. I don't think. Because even Alien Isolation, that had a previous gen version.
Yes, it did. Yeah, you're right.
I don't like that thing of releasing this previous generation stuff when it should be next gen.
Yeah, I agree. I think when they were making these games, they didn't expect these consoles to sell as well as they have. Because I think even the Xbox One is like outpacing like the 360. So they're selling really well relatively to the previous generation, and I don't think they expected that. So I reckon all the publishers were like, let's cover our bases and make sure there's a previous gen version. Yeah.
Do you want to know what my game of the year was, and it wasn't from this year?
Oh, I can't do that.
I don't have any for this year. They're all been shit. Well, if I had to go for this year, the only one that kind of sticks out is Wolf Among Us. That's the only one. That's the only one. But the one I played this year, because I came to it 2 years too late, and I wish I played it when it first came out, Spec Ops: The Line.
Yeah, my fellow writer TPE said he enjoyed that.
Oh, it's a piece of art, that game. Absolutely love it. Hey up, Stefan, what's up?
Cat fail.
Cat fail?
Yeah, my cat was like, I'm going to jump on the back of the chair. This is not working. I'm falling.
You're probably getting lost in all that mess.
Yeah, my room is terrible at the moment. Post Christmas, I don't know.
It still looks better than my missus' side of the bed.
But yeah, my game of the year.
I'm letting her off at the moment for obvious reasons, but. Okay, I can have a special subject for you, Dave. You could say favourite game that you played this year that was on an old system that you never played before.
Ooh, I know exactly what mine is, and we did a video on it, Stefan, and I never put it together because it were too long.
Oh, God, what's it called? The Master System game.
Yeah, Zillion.
Zillion, that's it. Yeah.
Oh, that is a game. That is a fucking game right there. Zillion. Absolutely amazing. Really good. Really good. If you've ever played Impossible Mission on the Commodore 64...
Yeah, I have, yeah. Well, not on the Commodore, but I have played Impossible Mission before. Can't remember on what, though.
Get Zillion.
Was it on the Amiga? Was the Impossible Mission on the Amiga?
I think it may have been. It's been on everything, I think.
Definitely played it on something. It wasn't the Amstrad, because I don't think it came out for that, but I definitely played it long ago.
No, it was awesome. We played it for an hour and a half, and then obviously because it was too long to edit, I never put it together. But it was just such a great game. It was awesome. It was really, really good. I don't know about you, Stefan.
That was yeah, because I remember there was a point where it changed. We almost gave up on it.
Yeah.
Because we couldn't figure it out. We couldn't figure out what it was asking us to do.
And it just kind of went. It went. This is how you play it. And it just was like, my goodness, where have you been my entire life? And it literally just, everything about the game changed, and it was just this, it looked crap, it acted crap, and it had a stupid plot line, but as soon as you figured it out, it was just like, I need to finish this game. I need to do it. And it was just like, you have one life, and you've got to get through it, and it was rock hard as nails as well. Loved it. How about you, Chris?
I think I did it, and going back to what you were saying, Dave, I think I did play on the Amstrad CPC actually, because I've just had a look and it was released on the CPC, so I must have played it on that.
What, Zillion or Impossible Mission?
Impossible Mission, yeah.
It's like that. It's exactly like Impossible Mission. It's
I
pretty
remember,
much close.
Like walking them, going the lifts and stuff and ladders, and yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, it's like that. It is almost like that, but it's just a little bit different.
Was
Just
that
a
on the
little
Master?
bit. Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
have to check that out. Sounds
If you can
good.
get it cheap, definitely play it. You'd love it. You'd spaff everywhere.
I've got two.
Ooh.
I've got two, and then not on the Amstrad because I've played so many on that, so it's kind of irrelevant. But they both came from the Tubers High Score Challenge of games I've never played before, and then realised they were out for systems that I've got, which is great because then I can go and find them and track them down. And the first one was Viewpoint for the Neo
right.
Geo.
Ooh. Right, okay.
I'd never played it before, and I found the isometric shooter idea brilliant soundtrack. Double hard, but I found it really imaginative and really fun to play. And then I discovered it's on the Mega Drive and on the PlayStation 1.
I was just thinking it were on PS1. I was just going to say. Yeah.
If I can find a copy on either, I'll be tracking it down, because obviously I'm not going to go out and shell on a Neo Geo, not just yet. Till the 6 numbers come up.
Yes.
And the other one is again one that's on the PlayStation 1 or 2, or actually it's on the PlayStation 1, You can get it on the PlayStation 2 as a compilation. That's Strikers 1945.
Oh right, the shoot 'em up one.
Yeah, which is kind of like the sequel to 1943.
Hmm.
And I found that really fun as well. And yeah, it's just saying, but it's saying doing inexplicable about a game where you just grabs you and you just keep playing it.
Yeah.
Just like that. And I thought, no, that's really, wow, how come I missed this years ago? Fantastic. And so I'll be looking out for that to grab that on the PlayStation as well.
No, I remember Viewpoint. Viewpoint was quite good actually back in the day.
Yeah, great soundtrack on that. Really.
What about you, Stefan? Because I know with you it's going to be something on the Neo Geo Pocket.
Oh, I was just thinking that. Hard to choose. But no, the first thing that actually came to mind is Dust, an Elysian Tale.
Oh yeah, that was pretty decent actually.
Yeah, I think it came out a few years ago, but it was free on PS Plus. So it's the first time I played it this year, and I really enjoyed that.
It's a lot of fun doing the whole swirling whirlwind thing, isn't it?
Yeah, the combat.
That's
like,
the swirling whirlwind.
really. It's kind of a bit like Devil May Cry in a very casual way.
The voice acting's terrible though.
I wasn't a fan of the setting or the voice acting. They did not grab me, but you know what was great about it, going back to the whole like having games in the bar, is I found it a good sort of like wind down game.
Yeah.
So I like to I'd be playing a game, like a disc-based game, and then for an hour afterwards I'd play a bit of Dust, and it just kept happening that hour would get longer, and then I'd boot up the console and I'd be wanting to play Dust rather than this game I'd bought, and like it just really sort of like. It plays really well. The platforming, the combat is really smooth. I like the RPG systems. It's got lots of secrets to find. Yeah, I thought it's really well made.
Yeah, it's like Metroidvania kind of stuff, isn't it? It's very Metroid, very Castlevania style as well.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to go and get a drink, so you two talk nice to each other.
I promise.
I've just been reading the comments.
I'm just going to go through, unless you want to go through them, Nova. Do you want to go through them?
Well, yeah, because it's right down my street.
Yeah, this one is actually about the Amstrad, so I was going to get onto that, but I'll let you get on with it. So.
No, I'll wait for you to come back.
Oh, I'll come, all right.
Oh, no.
Oh. Anyway, be good. Don't touch anything.
He has to take a wheeze. I do want a Neo Geo though. I don't know when I'm going to get one.
Yeah. I got into Neo Geo Pocket this year. That was Dave
How much
got
was
me.
it?
The Pocket was like not much. Dave got it for my birthday back in May, and Neo Geo Pocket has basically a lot of super deformed versions of the Neo Geo games. So you get a lot of the similar games, but they'd all be doing this. So you get King of Fighters, but it'd be like that sort of chibi little Japanese style characters, and like the golf game was with all these little. So they like, cause it's only got 2 buttons, so it's like Neo Geo games all like stripped down, but they're all really well done. Like they're just polished, really perfect little games, and that might be it. That's kind of like a nice budget way of playing like a Neo Geo game. Just like
never played one, but for some reason I have it in my mind, and I could be way wrong on this. I have it in my mind that it would be very similar to play. Not saying the games would be the same, but very similar to play as the Turbo Express.
I haven't played a Turbo Express, so I guess they both have 2 buttons and stuff.
But very similar in kind of look, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, like a lot of people are going about it not having a backlight, but I didn't find that to be too much of a problem. Just sit somewhere well lit, and the battery life just goes on forever. Like it's like 30 or 40 hours on 2 AA's.
That's good.
And it's quite good for being able to like turn it off and turn it back on again and pick up where you left off. Like especially the golf game. they've really thought about it, so you could like sort of save where you were and come back to it. And a lot of the games are sort of they're quite forward thinking with that.
Like the DS does, really, isn't it? Really.
Yeah, because the DS was like I could just close the lid and come back later.
Saves and off you go. Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite good. It's lots of like simple, easy to play games with a lot of depth to them, and
So I suppose the key titles, like you said, King of Fighters, Metal Slug is on it. Is that on it?
Metal Slug's on it. That's really good. Turf Masters,
Samurai Showdown.
Samurai Showdown's there. I think I've got that one. Yeah. All the fighting games made it over. A lot of the big hits did. And it's got some.
Envying it and thinking in '91, thinking, my word, the Neo Geo looks amazing. So does its price.
Yeah. It's only gone up, really, hasn't it?
Oh yeah, it's never. Yeah, it's one of those cult systems, isn't it? And I think it was was it this year? Probably this year, actually, when we went to Blackpool. And I was with Scott the console snob. And he loves his Neo Geo. And he's big into Neo Geo. So we went out to a store, and it was the first time I'd ever seen and touched a Neo Geo cart. And I was sort of like, oh, this thing's like a fucking breeze block.
Yeah. They're huge and they're so heavy.
Huge. You think, well, that's why it costs so much. It's fucking huge. 2 PCB layers as well.
Yeah.
It literally is an arcade machine in it, and that's what it is.
They just took that whole way of making games to just an absurd degree. Like,
yeah. Well, it was a plug-and-play arcade machine. This is what it was, wasn't it? I mean, not many people would have a Sharp 6800, is it? Sharp 8600, the developing machine.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have that in their house, would they? Not many, but that's what the Neo Geo essentially is.
The thing I like about the Neo Geo is like its design of the console is still really nice. It still holds up.
The original is. Yeah,
it's really nice.
The arcade stick is lovely.
Yeah.
Love that.
I've got like this pad, which is based on the Neo Geo like CD one.
Oh yeah.
And it's really, really good.
Yeah, that's cool.
I have returned.
One day.
Hello.
He's back. The host is back.
I'm back. I've brought Rig Welter. It's back to front. Oh.
Yeah.
Yes, so, Chris, would you like to attack these people that are attacking your beloved console?
Are they attacking it?
I don't know.
I don't think they are.
Let's have a look. See what we got going on.
You crack on, but it starts with Retro Gamer 1979 Stuart.
So yes, we got Stuart saying, I just bought a GX4000 off eBay. Smiley face. Harry says, how much, Stupot? 20 quid boxed. Och was the answer. Any games? I have 20 quid to burn on burning rubber. And then it says, yeah, we're going to a conversation. So Highlander comes and says, Destiny was shit. So, yeah, Harry Yak says, guys, best Nostalgia Trip episode of 2014 and best game featured on Nostalgia Trip. Have we answered that?
But I mean, I think Supersonic Racers is my pick of the best
Ever?
The best game this year that we've played. Maybe not the best episode we've done, but that wins the award for like I knew nothing about this game. I played it. I thought it was amazing. Why haven't I heard of this award?
Well, I think the funniest one is when we played Speedball.
You think Speedball?
Yeah, because it just sounded like we were both having sex with one another halfway through. And it was just like that, and then it was just like you just saying, and I've come at the end. Let's see what else we got.
What was the one? I know you say this a lot, Dave, but what was the one where you literally kept repeating, "What is this? What is this? What is this?"
That's Victory Boxing. That is one of the worst. It's one of the worst boxing. I have never found a boxing game. So if anybody out there watching now can tell me a boxing game which is pretty decent to play, tell me now, because I've never found one.
Ready to rumble.
Right, I'm about to say Ready to Rumble.
I don't believe you though. I don't believe you. Don't believe you. You're wrong. Anyway, so yeah, there you go, Harry. Oh, Highlander says, Dave, did you say Spec Ops: The Line? Yes, I did. I did. I find that a piece of art. I genuinely do. I think it's one of these games that you play it once and you get depressed over it, but you can play it again and you can actually look into it, and there's things that you wouldn't have seen if you hadn't actually been looking out for it. And there's a lot of things that happen in that game that's
Very
really
famous scene in it, isn't there?
good.
With the chemical
Phosphorus.
bomb.
The white
Yeah,
phosphorus.
oh, that's yeah.
It's grim.
That's pretty hard to watch. That.
It's grim as fuck.
Yeah.
To be honest, how many games can you actually say actually try and do a PTSD simulator, a post-traumatic stress disorder simulator? Not
Yeah.
many.
Yeah. One of my favourite bits in that game was, like, you're just in a shootout across a balcony across the other side, and you walk through an area, and it's really smoky, it's like some stalls, and someone runs towards you. And I just shot the person just out of instinct, and it was just some woman, and I felt genuine remorse.
Yeah, it was terrible for it. Yeah.
That's so hard to do in a game, to make you care about like an NPC which you knew nothing about. It was just a person, and I was like, I felt genuine remorse that I just shot an innocent person. Like,
The bit that got me is when you basically parasail off the side of this building and you can see the reflections of everybody as you're going down. There's you, the guy that to the right of you, and then the guy to the left. And the guy to the left, his reflection stops halfway and it's just him hanging. And he's the guy who gets hung later on in the game. And I saw that playing through and I went, that don't look right. So I went back and I noticed it was just him. He was just stopping halfway. So
Right.
it keeps telling you things, and apparently the more you look into it, the guy, the general, he's actually on all the posters in the game, watching you. He watches you all the way through. So it's just stuff like that.
Full of Easter eggs.
Yeah, and it's crazy for it, absolutely nuts for it.
it's one of the few games that makes loading screens like fun.
Yeah, this is your fault. Did you
Yeah.
ever kill an innocent person? And it's just like, I've never done that before. Well, you're doing it right now.
You're like a hero right now. Like,
And it's just the way that it's actually been created. I just think it's purposely been badly made to take the piss out of the Modern Warfare games, and I think that is just something if you know what it's trying to do, you're on board with it. If you don't, you're just I think that was something where I just thought, great on you guys for sticking to your guns and actually doing something that nobody else would do and do it quite well.
it's a shame that they went on to do some sodding Dead Island game or something like that.
Is that what they're doing now?
I think so. There you go. I'll look it up, but I think they're doing something like that.
Yeah, anyway, going back onto comments, let's see what's going off. What's crack-a-lacking? Harry Yak, that's a lot of nuts! And then, so Dean just went, well, hey, Kung Pao. It was. Well done.
Did you
Chris.
like your outtakes, by the way?
I loved them. I did love them, yeah.
I think everyone likes your outtakes.
Fuck me. I can't do Pumpkin when I have to do the bit. I couldn't do it. Couldn't physically do it. Because when you just go jingle bells, and then just the and when you have to do it like him.
I think I watched it back about 20 times. It was so funny. So funny. You and Evo.
Evo were just basically insulting you every step of the way. Yeah, no, mate, it was so difficult to do, because who says lean and lank? They're not lyrics.
Well, Chris when Chris did it, he sung it the entire song with his kids, yeah.
Yeah.
But he sung like all these lyrics I'd never heard of, and I've never heard these lyrics before. And he's like, it's 4 verses he sung, bless his heart. And I'm like, it's really good of it, Chris, but I can only likely use 3 lines of this.
Yeah, because the bit where he picks up that, it says, put that down.
Yeah.
And he's just like...
his little boy's Nathan, isn't it?
Yeah.
When his boy picks that up, I know that's my copy of Alleyway that he sent me.
No, it's just where he does it, just goes, put that down.
Put that down.
Put that down. Now, I was watching one of Woodland's videos. I can't remember what it were, but it was Star Trek: The Next Generation. and his cat Luigi goes up the tree, his Christmas tree.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing that one. Yeah.
Fuck me. It just the way it just went. He just basically goes like, "Oh, get out of that fucking tree!" Just halfway through gameplay, get out of that fucking tree. And then he goes off, and then you just hear him off screen. You don't see anything. It's just an empty screen, and you just hear, "Out! Out! Get out the tree!" Like that, and then he just comes back and sits down. And it's just like, so yeah, Star Trek: The Next Generation. And just carries on like no it's happened. He's just have to find it. But that whole bit where he just goes, out, out, get out the tree, like that, and then just goes back to normal shortly after, just like no it's ever happened.
One of the funniest things I saw was on Two Fat Bastards, where they were just him and Chris were just chatting along, and Luigi's in the background, plonking along. I think knocks over all the plates and falls in the sink. And he just goes, that fucking cat. I think no one noticed it, but Chris is just grinning like that. I saw it. It's fucking funny.
But yeah, no, I'll just see if there's any other comments. Dean says, you want fries with that? So that's what he's just said there. And he's going now, so bye, Dean.
Bye, Dean.
Cheers, mate.
Bye, Dean. So yeah, there you go. That's that. That's that.
Fair enough.
Well, favourite film of 2014, Christopher, go!
God, he sprung that on me. I don't know. What came out this year? I have no idea.
Stefan!
Oh, I'm liking him stalling here. I didn't see many films, but it's probably Interstellar.
Still need to see that.
Because it's a great film, but I will admit I'm a bit underviewed this year for films. But that's an amazing film anyway, so Interstellar.
I saw Days of Future Past and I thought that was alright, but I don't know if it was Film of the Year.
It's good, but yeah, it's sort of...
Honestly, I haven't watched many films this year.
Same. I haven't watched many this year. We watched Angry Video Game Nerd film, didn't we?
We did.
That's quite interesting.
Billions as well.
Yes, we did watch
we
that.
did.
Which I've still got to watch. I've got it on this very PC, which I've got to watch.
It's good. It just kind of finishes really quick at the end, doesn't it, Steph? Just stops.
Yeah. So it's trying to do a lot. But yeah, I'm trying to think what else I watched. Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, I watched Guardians. Yeah.
I haven't watched that yet.
I rewatched that.
RoboCop's pretty good. Oh, I liked Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I like that.
Oh yeah, I watched that. Yeah, I didn't think it was as bad as everyone made out. I mean, I did a review on that, so.
Not at all. Not at all. You sort of, it's one of them things you go into and you think, oh, I'm expecting this to be poor as in crap, and it weren't. It was quite fun and enjoyable, and I liked it.
I thought the tone was all over the show. The actual tone of the film was really bad. I mean, like for kids, like the bit where Megan Fox is bending out the window, and it's just like, whoa, what you doing? Yeah, you know, like that bit. I was just a bit like, yeah, for kids, this is a little bit naughty.
One thing they did get right is at least they got the characterization of the turtles right. They
still
kept the characters.
Yeah, I think so. I think they got that. But it wasn't. I mean, it's not going to win any awards. I mean, it's not terrible, but it's just a bit.
Transformers. It's like Transformers. It's nice to watch. It's a throwaway film. It's
Yeah.
going to be a trilogy.
I know if you talk to Stefan about the new Transformer films.
Yeah, I won't get started. Generally, I've decided I don't want to go and see these remakes and rehashes, and they always annoy me.
See RoboCop, Stefan.
No, I see, because I love original RoboCop, and,
So do I.
and I've heard the remake is okay as a film, but
Yeah.
like RoboCop captured its sort of time perfectly, and
I'll buy that for $1.
exactly, and there's sort of the satire there, and like, I think RoboCop the remake is probably a fine film, but it won't have.
No, it takes itself too seriously for starters.
Yeah, and
But it's
like,
okay. It's okay.
you see, you can make like a good film out of an old concept, but it's like, well, what are you actually really saying? What are you really achieving by doing this, other than making a lot of money? And
It's for.
it's just generally disappointing. So I decided I'm not watching. And like prequels as well. I won't watch a prequel. I've given up on the Hobbit films. You know, I watched 2 of those. I'm not going to watch the 3rd one.
Did you not like the second one?
I didn't like either of them.
Oh.
I mean, talk about a film with its tone all over the place. The Hobbit films.
You think? I watched the first one. I didn't think it was all that bad.
It's like it doesn't know if it wants to be a Lord of the Rings film or an adaptation of The Hobbit, which had a much lighter tone. So you get all these like grim situations to get put in, but then they do like a comedy bit where they fall down a mine shaft and they're all fine. And
Yeah.
all the action scenes have no suspense as a result. They're just like ridiculous. Yet the tone doesn't sort of like back that up. It doesn't. I just found it really jarring, and they're just too long. They're too long. There's too little content. It should have been 3 films. I think even 2 is pushing it.
I think they were only going to do 2 films, weren't they? And then they decided to do a 3rd.
Yeah, because you couldn't possibly make it to 2 films. Which, having seen 2 of the films, I think that's outrageous. Because you could have like cut half of those out. It just there's so much extraneous crap in them. Like the song in The Hobbit, where they spend half an hour in Bag End singing songs and doing the dishes. Like, what the fuck is that about? The film starts with a 10-minute retread of the Lord of the Rings film, and then like the next 20 minutes just singing and dancing and doing the pots. Like, that's half an hour.
They can do my pots. Like that, Chris.
Yeah.
Go on, Chris, what was your 2014 film? Doesn't have to be from 2014 if it makes it any better.
It's probably Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, because I honestly haven't watched that many films this year. And any films that I have watched this year weren't released this year.
Go on then, anything that you've watched this year?
Animated films I watch a lot because of the girls. So I enjoyed Tangled and Frozen. I like them. Yeah, because I like myself a good bit of an animation film. Pixar films, Disney films, all good for me.
Oh, that's reminded me. My missus decided, let's watch a Studio Ghibli film. You know Studio Ghibli?
Yeah.
The guys who did Spirited Away.
Yeah.
I bought her all the films for Christmas, so she's got 20 films to pick from, right? She picks the one film at the bunch that is probably the most depressing sack of shit I've ever watched in my entire life. Grave of the Fireflies. Have you ever heard of it?
No.
I've heard of it, but I haven't seen that one.
Oh, fuck me. It's terrible, and it's not bad. I mean, it's just the content of it. And it turns out in the first 2 minutes, the main character commits suicide. His sister dies. His mom gets thrown onto a pile of bodies and then burned. The whole place that they live in gets bombed. And it's just like, what am I watching? And why am I watching it? And it lasted for an hour and a half, this. It's so depressing. It's good. It is good, but it's just get strapped
If you're
in.
expecting a sort of light-hearted, coming-of-age Japanese animation film with some cute animals, and then you got that.
And I got that, and it was just like, whoa, whoa. And literally, there's one bit where they pick up her body, the mom, right? And underneath it are just maggots.
Ugh.
And I thought for a kids' film, I was like, whoa, where the fuck has this come from? And it's so grim. And you see his mom get thrown onto these other pile of bodies as well, and it's like, and there's one bit, right? It does a triple threat, and I know this is a spoiler if anybody wants to watch it, right? You basically find out that his dad's died because of like like when they attacked all the Navy in World War Two. So all the Navy's gone. So his dad was in there. He dies. His sister dies, and then you see the Enola Gay fly past. All in like 5 minutes.
Yep. That's harsh.
It's fucking heavy. Yeah, does anyone want to watch that? Comments? Anyone?
It won't be on my hit list.
I'm going to put it on my hit list, never to watch again. Shit list. Shit list. Yeah, let's see if there's been... Let's have a look. What's going on? What's going down? Ariak, what about that time Luigi humped the toaster? I don't remember that one.
I don't remember that.
Think I might watch me From Bedrooms to Billions Dooved and do a review or something. Said in a Yorkshire accent. I said it as normal. Smooth MJ, evening lads.
Evening.
Evening. I do, Malk. How's they doing? What other films have you watched this year, Christopher? Go!
You keep telling me this, and I keep telling you the same thing.
Is this the only films you've watched?
You keep asking me. I don't know. Honestly.
Have you watched Darts, the film?
Darts the film.
I don't know.
It's just done. Everyone picks up on what's on my television beyond my head.
Darts the film. Have you watched Darts the film, Stefan?
Yes, it's that 180. Wow.
Yeah.
what a moment.
Yes. And its sequel, 9 Dart.
The Bullseye.
Yeah, the bullseye.
I'm just trying to think of...
Here's a question.
Oh, go on.
What games are we looking forward to in 2015?
Ooh, good. A lot, actually. Yeah. Bloodborne.
That's one of mine on my
I'm
list.
hoping that's gonna like fill the black hole in my heart where Dark Souls 2 was like gonna be. Batman Arkham Knight. Really looking forward to that. Hope they don't cock that up. What else is there?
I will look on my handy dandy phone.
Um,
Well, the one I'm looking forward to on the PS4 is No Man's Sky.
yeah, if that lives up.
Sounds excellent concept.
Oh yeah, it does. I just worried, like, I think it's just this year, like, the hype gets to you. You get like, there's a lot of hype behind it, and I hope it just sort of lives up to it. But yeah, if that pulls it off, that's gonna be great.
I'll pull you off, Stefan.
Ooh,
Let's have a look.
Phantom Pain's out next year.
I was just going to say Phantom Pain.
Yeah.
Vagina Bomb. Um,
Gran Turismo 7?
Is that actually... Are they doing a 7?
Are they going to do that?
Doing what, sorry?
Gran Turismo 7.
Oh, probably.
Probably. Thank you, Stefan. Dying Light.
Yeah.
I'm just looking through this list. What else we got? Oh, my phone's fucked up. Oh, Evolve.
Yeah, I was never a big Left 4 Dead guy, so I'm a bit cold on it, but maybe
I don't know about that one. I think that could be quite interesting, that one. If they can get it right. Because looking at the game... This is the thing about the gameplay videos. It looks boring as shit to watch. But I bet it's a lot of fun to play.
So you've got to put great commentary on it, haven't you, Dave? Like we know.
Indeed. When you play it, it's like, he's coming, he's coming.
Right.
Oh no, he's got me! No! Actually, your commentary's quite good, actually. It's just that one, it's just when you went full British, like, what ho, got my monocle.
It's just part and parcel of what you get. It's like part and parcel of what you get is oh, I forgot your other mate's name. Shit.
Carl.
Carl's sitting there playing the game while you and Stefan are having a chat about something. About something totally random. I don't know what you were talking about. Stefan's going something like, "Oh well, I had to murder this bloke," and and Noah's nodding along, going, "Yeah, sounds interesting. Yeah, really good."
Well, the Ink and Dagger and the casino.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a good story. I like that.
You talk about the game. Are you enjoying this, Carl? Yeah, actually, it's not bad.
It was just the way they was talking about the fact that he, you actually stroked him, and he basically went, "Ooh," and then he actually stabbed you, and you were like, "Oh fuck." It was the way that you went, "Oh fuck," when he stabbed you. That was apparently part of the story.
Well, he plays so many crap games, and you snap really. That's the only defence is just like.
I'm honestly surprised that CDI remote is still intact.
Do you know one of the funniest things I remember is when Stefan started talking. Well, it was me and you. We played so many bad Atari ST games one night, and we started talking about how Marlon Brando was a rugby player.
Oh yeah.
So we decided he was a rugby player. And he used to throw baguettes instead of rugby balls. I don't even know how that happened. How did that happen?
We played a lot of bad games.
Is that what it? Yeah. Marlon Brando, the rugby player, like getting my basket. That was it. Getting my basket. That's what he said. Anyway, let's just see what's coming out. Captain Toad.
Oh yeah, Treasure Tracker.
That's out, I think.
I think it's already out.
All right. I'm just looking on Game.
Well, you got Star Fox Wii U.
Is that really?
Looking forward to that. And
Wait, sorry, go back a page. What? Star Fox Wii U?
Star Fox on the Wii U.
A new version?
Yes.
I'm buying one now.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, hold on. They've only sort of half announced it.
It will be coming.
Weird.
It will be coming.
It was weird. Like this at E3, they're just kind of like Miyamoto was like shaking the pad out, going, "Oh, I'm kind of working on Star Fox." And that was it. Like,
that's clever. I think that was clever.
What kind of an announcement is that?
Very clever announcement. And
All right.
of course, New Legend of Zelda on Wii U as well.
I just saw that one. I was just going to say that. Dragon Ball Xenoverse.
Yeah.
Lots of those Dragon Ball games.
Ooh, The Order 1886.
Oh yeah, I've heard about that. I'm not sure.
It looks great, but I think it's just going to be a bit boring.
Yeah. Battlefield Hardline. Final Fantasy Type 0.
Oh. Yeah, maybe.
Ooh, there's one. Mortal Kombat X.
Oh, I've seen the trailers for that, yeah.
Yeah, definitely that one.
That looks rather sick.
As the kids say. Crackdown.
Oh, that's... yeah. I'd be amazed if that comes out next year.
It does actually say Star Fox Wii U on this list, so it's got to be official.
It was sort of announced, but it was really weird. I'm not saying it wasn't. It doesn't exist. It's just kind of like, oh yeah, I'm sort of working on Star Fox.
Halo 5.
Halo 5. Another Halo.
Kingdom Hearts 3.
Ooh, about bloody time.
Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain. Mirror's Edge 2.
If Mirror's Edge 2 actually exists and actually comes out next year, I will be, yes, over the moon.
You love that, don't you?
I love Mirror's Edge. I think it's one of the best games from last generation. But they keep teasing it, and I I really doubt that it actually exists because all we've seen is like a CG trailer like 2 years ago.
I was never a big fan of the first one, as you know.
Well, you're wrong.
Oh, sorry, I apologise.
Oh, you got Splatoon.
Yes,
Well,
that was on there as well, yeah. Splatoon.
Yoshi's Woolly World.
Oh, what?
Yoshi's Woolly World. That's what it's called.
Sorry, it just sounded like Woolly World!
Woolly World. In the old mills in the Black Country.
Well, I think that's that. So, well, let's see if there's been any... Oh, hey, here we go. Chris, keep talking so we can watch the darts. Harry Yak.
Well, I can just, if you want.
Oh,
There you go.
there we are.
Fuck. I forgot to say the chair doesn't have a leg that side.
What we got here? Harry Yak, Bullseye is my TV show of 2014. Okay.
Gotta love a bit of bully.
Bit of bully. Bit of bully. What's your guys' review of Play Expo in October? What? Sorry, I can't read. What is your guys' review of Play Expo in October 2014? What did we think to it?
I loved it. It was great.
I loved it. I know Chris loved it. Got to meet his hero.
Yeah? Harry knows my answer to this. I've actually told him while I was standing there. The only bit that annoyed me was you.
Me?
Yeah, because we were like, alright Dave, big hugs. That was that. What happened?
No, we were on a whirlwind of just like everything, weren't we?
Yeah.
We were just everywhere.
I got swept off somewhere, I don't know why, and then I thought, where's Dave? And I didn't have a sentence with him, and walked past you, you were with Stefan, weren't you?
I got brought in by Steve Retro Unlim. He just brought me in. I was just like, oh, okay, I'm in the back room now. What am I doing here?
Yeah, I spent the next hour wandering around on my own, lost.
Yeah.
Where's
was
Dave
weird.
gone?
I came out of the press room, and I saw you guys standing there. And I said, I'll shoot you around, Stefan.
Yeah.
Right? And then I walked off out to do something, came back, you'd gone, and I thought, alright, I'll just walk off somewhere else, and didn't see you for the rest of the day.
No, it was weird because we went to see what's his name? Guy who made Broken Sword, Charles Cecil. We saw him, or Cecil, whatever you want to call him. But yeah, I loved it that day. I was, what a day! What a day! What a day!
Yeah, I liked how they had a bit of everything there, so you could go and play like new games. There was pinball machines, arcade machines, retro consoles, like lots of stalls, and like that was the first time I got to try an Oculus Rift as well. And,
Yeah, that was crazy. Yeah,
that was great, and it was really well done.
One thing I must admit though, when we recorded the young girls doing the Japanese dancing, I put as a comment on the video, and I think the way they misinterpreted it was that we were being nasty against them, which is not the case at all. Because it actually said, I wonder why everybody's turned up watching this. And it was basically because the crowd was full of middle-aged, sweaty men watching young girls in skimpy skirts. And I was just looking around thinking, this is weird, and we're stood here doing it as well. Oh, it was weird. But she, the one that we filmed, she commented on that thinking we were being nasty about them, saying their routine is shit. And it wasn't at all, was it? It was really good.
Really good.
Yeah, and it was just like, no, it's just all these, sweaty fat men, including us, watching you. just watching you and filming you, I meant to say actually, Stefan, there were these two young lasses actually filming, doing that same kind of routine outside City Hall at Sheffield.
Really?
Yeah, exact same thing. And I wanted to say like, I saw you there. I couldn't do because they were filming. So, you all right, Chris? Are you having a bit of a chew there?
Yeah, sorry. The problem is I've cut myself on my bloody missus' car.
Oh.
I was doing her brakes today, so my hands are like
Oh man, that's
Ooh.
grim.
They were worse earlier.
Well, I think that's probably a logical end. That Chris's manky hands is the end of the wrap up of 2014. So thank you to all the comments. I better just double check there hasn't been any more comments. Shall we just double check? We'll double check before we leave. So if you want to say something quick, say it now.
Something quick.
Hey. Right, let's have a look. Right, here we go. Well, this is it. I really should go off and have breakfast and get into another day. This is Hellfire64 because he lives in Australia.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, might have to catch the recorded version later on whilst I'm beavering away on things. Was fun, chaps. Well, we're done anyway, so it's all over. It's all done. Done. Dusted. But thanks for watching. You are a nice man, and I wish to touch you inappropriately. So,
Don't.
again, I'll touch everybody inappropriately one day. I know I touched Harry Yak inappropriately and he didn't like it. So, yeah, well, that was the live event. I've had Stefan on the show.
Hello. Goodbye.
And I've also had Christopher.
Never bug out.
So thanks for watching, and we will be back on the 5th of January to do our nostalgia trips once more. Thanks for watching, everyone! Bye! Bye!
Bye.
Bye! Say bye, Stefan.
Bye.
Bye, Steph.